the fans in their kitchen and like pulling drywall out and like pulling up carpet, you know, and those people, they don't want any CUTCO right now. They don't want to deal with you right now. Okay. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but then there's other people who they had insurance money that they just received. And they're going to Costco and buying all their groceries. And they're going to Ashley Furniture and they're replacing everything in their living room. And they're going to Sears and they're buying their new refrigerator and their new dishwasher. And with all of that, guys, comes the need to buy kitchen stuff too, okay? I know this seems kind of counterintuitive, but after everything floods, most of these people, they're not going to take the time to like go put their CUTCO in boiling water and sanitize it. They're not going to take the time to like, you know, go and like use the warranty. A lot of these people, they might not even know where their CUTCO is. And what they're going to do is they're just going to order new CUTCO. And I was telling Kathy earlier today that I actually had a customer on during literally like the hurricane. She calls me. She's like, "Hey, we just flooded. I need $2,000 worth of CUTCO," and it literally called me during the hurricane to replace the stuff that was damaged and destroyed. And so in 2006, New Orleans had its largest CUTCO sales year in the history of the company. So for the previous 64 years, since 1949, New Orleans had not sold as much CUTCO as they did right after Hurricane Katrina. And the reason is really simple. You have all this insurance money. You have all this flood insurance money coming in. You have all this FEMA money coming in, right? People are going to get thousands of dollars from this stuff. And look, you know, buying new CUTCO isn't going to fix these things for these people, right? But it is going to be one of those things that when you have CUTCO, it's like a creature comfort. Like it's you need it, you want it, and it makes life in the kitchen safer, easier, and more enjoyable. And people aren't going to want to go for very long without that kind of thing. You can only eat with plastic utensils for so long. And so this is stuff that people are going to want. Like I said, I was really surprised. I got a phone call. It was actually Saturday, last Saturday. They called me and bought some CUTCO. $2,000 right over the phone. And so you're going to have a ton of people who are going to need new CUTCO. You're going to have a ton of people who are going to need their stuff serviced or repaired. And this is an opportunity you guys really need to take advantage of, because this is a huge opportunity. You know, this is where you'll be able to do trade-in specials, but instead of asking for old knives, ask customers for canned goods to donate to other people who are still struggling in the aftermath of this devastation. You know, when you do that trade-in special, you know, do 5 or 6 canned goods instead of the old knives and donate that to people in need. And so this is your opportunity to kind of help the community come together, help others, bring back value to customers who had their CUTCO damaged or lost. And, you know, really try to help put Houston back together.
I appreciate you sharing. I know that was something that you shared with the DMs. And I know we were talking about fundraisers, and those who were on the call on Thursday, we were talking about sharing with customers, whether a percentage that you were giving back, but something he added that I was like, oh, great, trade-in specials. Like, don't ask for knives. I mean, they can donate whatever they want, but for trade-in specials, say, hey, anyone who donates anything for Harvey relief, you actually can get deals or free stuff with your order. You can get discounts or free stuff, you know, depending on what they're getting. So utilizing that as your deal maker, that if they donate to Harvey, that you're able to get them a discount on their CUTCO or give them some additional free stuff. So that's pretty awesome. Cool. So anything else there? We're going to dive in here. And we've got a couple others jumping on, and we've got people at offices. So right now we've got Braden, Jessica, Michaela, Roland, RJ, and Jack down in Corpus, correct? And so anybody who else who jumps on, let me know. I got the crew that's over in College Station right now, and so I'll put those here. I know we've got some people running from class. Who do we have, Nemo, over there? I can hear you. We have
Nemo, well, me, Cassandra, and Jordan. David's on the call, and then Matthew's on his way. And Ricky's on his way as well.
Okay, cool. I saw Matthew. He's on his own, I guess, while he's driving there. And we've got there. So we've got Caleb. All right, we'll look.
I'm on the call. I don't know if.
Yeah, I saw you on there. And then we've got Gray, I saw on there. Ben, I saw on there. Do we have Dalton?
There's David.
All right, and then the Northwest guys. Do we have the Northwest office, Ward's office on yet?
Yeah, we're here. You're not going to have, yeah, we're here.
Okay, cool. They're all there with you?
Correct.
Hello, Ralph, Thomas, Jacob, and Armando. All right, awesome. Sir Jared, great to see you. So we've got Jared out there. All right, and I'll get the rest of the offices of who you guys have in your office, and I'll look at all the names on the side here to finish up while Spencer talks to you guys. He'll be first message after I dive in here with you guys. So we've got, I'm excited to dive in. I know we didn't have a chance to have everyone at CFC due to the storm coming in, but just super excited to be able to kind of regroup. I know we have some guys who have night classes. We have a couple of our athletes who have games or practices that are happening tonight, and so they'll be joining a little bit later. They'll be watching the recording and then giving me notes on what they missed. They had told me ahead of time, and are currently in season with football season being right now in the fall. So we don't have those guys on at the current moment, but really excited to just get us back, group us back together. Everyone's been back to school, either Lone Stars just started today. All of our UHers started a couple weeks ago. Many of you guys started last week. Classes or the week prior, and really, really excited about where we're going into this fall. You know, as Eric mentioned, with I talk to our guys about, it's so wild. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, and you know, Houston's strong and the city has come together amazing, and not just the city but across the nation. People who have been coming over, I mean, I've heard stuff on the radio in Denver, heard stuff in California, just with relief. Like I went to a store to buy something here in Denver. When I walked in, they had like 10% of all proceeds going to Harvey victims, you know, and this is like in Colorado for back home. It's just so cool to see that. But like people have come together, and just, you know, a week or two prior, like I think about, it stinks that we got hit with this, but at the same time, there's a lot of good that can come. You know, it stinks, and my heart goes out for those who lost people during this storm. I think about for us as a nation, where we were a couple weeks ago. If you guys saw the news, if you saw what was going on, it was pretty scary out there, what was happening. You know, everything that happened over in Virginia and with the KKK and just like the violence that had streamed over there, and just how that could keep spreading, right, all across the nation, and outbursts that could keep happening all over the place. And that's what it can lead to. And just like right when that happened, literally like a week later, this happens, and people are coming together. I'm getting people messaging me now asking about my family back in Puerto Rico, because there's Irma coming strong over in the islands, you know, and things that are happening. And it's just, we don't understand it. But what happened is the focus changed, that's for sure. And the nation's focus changed from complaining, from going through whose sides and blacks and whites and this and that, and really came together of like, oh my gosh, our country, our community is in need, and people are suffering, and we need to step up. You know, as Spencer and I were at the leadership event over in California, that whole week, we have our name tag on. And so our name tag says like, oh, that we're from Houston. And immediately, I mean, every person that saw us, like people, I didn't even know them. They just see Houston and they're like, oh my gosh. And they'd come give me a hug, and they're like, are you okay? We've been praying for the families. We've been praying for everyone out there. And it was just so neat. And these are people from all over the nation and all over the world who were just like, you know, conscious. I had friends, you know, my friends from Israel, I had other friends like, oh my gosh, we're watching the news or watching this. And so, you know, thank God, you know, from what I know, none of our division, nobody lost anybody in terms of people passing away with the death toll. To my knowledge, we've been blessed so far that nobody lost anyone. I know some homes were pretty flooded. And we're gonna, and with time, like that'll all be taken care of, you know, and remembering like what matters. Like we're still here, and we're still here for a reason. And there's things for us to get done. You know, I think about at different times of my life when I've experienced catastrophic events, whether it was a really bad accident that everyone thought I should have died in, and they took the jaws of life to open this car that I wasn't even in because I walked out of it and no one could believe that I did. Or it's different events like this where it's natural disasters. There's always been, it's always made me reflect and think, man, you know, like one, I'm so grateful that I'm still here. And two, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? Am I living my life to the fullest? That if I lost my life next week, if something happened, if I got in a car accident, whatever, like, am I really living out to my full potential? And really thinking about that. And this was an amazing thing this past week as we were in our leadership event, where I really thought a lot about that. And they really incorporated to us and how you're living your life, you know, the disciplines that you have, and just putting everything together. And something that really hit me, we had a speaker who was a Navy SEAL, and he actually coaches. He wrote the book called The Way of the SEAL, and he's a trainer for Navy SEALs. He like made a Navy SEAL camp and all that stuff. Incredible. And he came and spoke, and it was just so neat as I looked at it. And he was talking about first our physical body, and he's like, and not just to look good to whatever. He's like, but your mind, your mind, soul, body, it functions better when you're taking care of it, you know? And I thought about it. He's like, we have people out there that are in need, people that need help. You know, where are you in a position financially? Where are you health-wise? Where are you that you're able to serve and give back? And so your body, the life that you've been given, are you fully utilizing that, you know, to its capacity? And I just love that, like in our business, from, you know, in CUTCO, when I was 19, you know, getting exposed to these people, getting exposed to the type of thinking that, one, you know, we are so blessed. We have unlimited resources, and really owning that and saying, like, we have unlimited resources. Like, we have a job where there's no cap on what we can earn, you know? Is it always easy? No, but it's also why it's the second high paid profession in the world. Higher than doctors, higher than lawyers, higher than anything besides professional, you know, athletes, performers, actors. You know, like I was at the gym yesterday working out, and Adam Levine walked in. I was like, oh, what's up? And so he was up for the Jazz Festival. I was like, that's pretty cool. But if you're him, like, you're paid higher. But besides that, when it comes to, you know, the industry that we have and getting a chance to do direct sales, meeting with people, educating people, is the second highest paid profession in the world. And we need to own that, you know, and I really feel like we have a responsibility to be like, you know, like, we have this gift that we've been given, and we can do so much with it. And I think about people that I meet and how they think, and it's just so different. It's so wild, because going to these events, going to these Tony Robbins conferences, and we'll be at several different ones this fall. I meet a lot of multimillionaires and even billionaires who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. And some of these people, like a lot of the ones that I talk to in their like 40s, 50s, just how they think, the shifts that they had or that they're having, and they're like, oh my gosh, I never thought about this. I feel so blessed when I listen to them. I'm like, shoot, I learned this stuff when I was in Leadership Academy when I was like 19, you know, like studying in London and like learning about business and leadership and finances and self-discipline, right? And there's just stuff that people they just don't link together. You know, you guys have heard me talk to you all summer about, you know, really protecting your energy. And your energy is so important, because energy it's how we do life, you know? It really is like the fuel of achievement. And without your energy, and whether, again, it's your emotional energy, your mental energy, your spiritual energy, your physical energy, these things affect you. And that's why it's so important to just like take care of you, take care of yourself, and also making sure you have structure. Some of you guys missed at CFC. If you didn't get to watch the recording, we had Lloyd came in, and Lloyd walked through, you know, just how to make a schedule, and everything he went through with like putting things in place, getting organized, guys, that affects your mental energy. And it's amazing. And it also can impact your emotional energy, because by doing that, by having things structured, by having a routine, it also puts you in a position where you can really dive in and really just go execute, you know? And so you're not thinking about stuff, and you're able to have your date night, you're able to have time with family, and you're able to do the things that are important to you, you know? And think about it on a weekly basis. You need to study, go to class, those who are in school, you have all those things, but there's also things like passions that you have, things that you enjoy. And whether it's going for a swim, going for a hike, going boxing, you know, painting something, reading books, whatever it is, you know, there's time to get everything done, but it's important to make a plan, you know? This job is a double-edged sword in itself, where the flexibility is amazing. You know, it's so great. I get to make my own schedule. But the bad thing is that if you don't make a schedule, you don't make money. Got it? And so for you guys, you know, where are you as you're going through this? Do you have discipline where you are, you know, like, hey, here's when I do this, hey, here's when I do that, and you have those disciplines in place so that it doesn't affect your routine and everything's getting done, or are you just kind of going with the flow? And so making sure that you guys look at your schedules. We go into, and I interviewed many of you guys. We got a chance to meet one-on-one. I think there's like one or two on here that we never finished final interview, but I had you jump on here anyway. And one of the things that we talked about is, you know, it's a discipline to be a part of this group, you know, to be in Leadership Academy is something that you're obviously taking time out. And I appreciate you guys being on this call right now, being at your local office right now, in order to get some work done tonight. We're going to be going through, and those who are in the offices, you guys are going to be drilling and grading each other on where you're at with face-to-face, how you sound. We'll have a couple people that are out and about that you'll do it live for me here, while those who are at the offices, you're going to do it with each other, and then we can pick someone to drill. But we want to make sure we help you guys maximize your experience here. And for you guys, I want to remind you, you know, Leadership Academy, it's like, why join? You know, like I had someone telling me like, oh, what is that? What is it that you do? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like Leadership Academy is the best business class you're going to take, period, ever. Whatever business class you're taking in school, you will not have a business class that will serve you more long-term. What you guys will learn with finances, basics of building income, what you're going to learn with leadership, management, mastery, and then as well as starting up a business and a company. And so this month we're talking a lot about recruiting and advertising. And I think about whether you're starting your own chiropractic practice, or you're starting your own art studio, or you have your own firm of some sort, you know, knowing how to get word out there. There's one thing opening your practice. You're like, all right, I'm open. It's like, well, who are your clients? Who's coming to you? Like, what's happening? How do you get word out? And so learning face-to-face advertising, learning social advertising, learning how to create and really spread the word of what service, product, whatever you have to serve your community, getting that out there. And so learning that. So everything you're going to learn to starting a CUTCO business, you need to not look at it as starting a CUTCO business, although obviously many of you guys are fighting to have a chance to run your own business next summer, to go out and run a branch office. A couple of you guys are wanting to possibly run a year-round office and go after a district office position. Whatever it is that you do, our goal is to help you guys know how to start up a business. Cool? I love our business, and it's a great fallback to have, that's for sure. To be able to have a business where you can earn a six-figure income, where after being in the job, on the job for 16 months, you're able to get a free BMW that the company pays for, being able to go on earn paid vacations all throughout the course of the year, regionally and nationally. It's pretty insane. You know, people ask me all the time, like, you're still doing that knife thing? Like, you've been there how many years? I'm like, going on 16 years. I'm like, I know, they just spoil me so much, you know? And I love what we do. And I love, for me, it's not for everybody long-term to be a manager long-term, but I love coaching and teaching. That's how I'm wired. My sister was a middle school teacher with special needs. That's how she was wired. You know, my aunt's been a teacher her whole life. And so for me, this is school. I'm a teacher, and I teach skills for life. And everything you're learning here, it's not about the knife world. That's our vehicle. That's how we happen to do it. But all the skills you guys learn, communication skills, time management, organization, interpersonal, learning how to deal with rejection, all these things you guys learn, selling knives, you know, that's your vehicle. And it's not about becoming the best knife salesperson ever. It's about learning how to connect with people. It's about learning how to set appointments. It's about learning perseverance. It's about learning goal setting, teamwork, how to work independently, you know, setting goals that actually drive you and having the self-discipline to get up and do them. Like, that's huge. And you guys get a chance to learn those things, to gain those skills or hone those muscles, you know, build those muscles, hone those skill sets as you're working with us. And so really, again, go back to, I know we talked about this before, but think about what are all the characteristics that you need to have? What are all the strengths that you need to have to be the best you in the future? To be the best leader, the best parent, the best business person, the best doctor, the best lawyer, the best engineer, whatever you're doing, all right? So what is it? What is that dream job that you're going after? And what are the characteristics of those who are the best at it? And what are the things that you need to work on? Because guys, everything that you need to work on to be great in any field, all your soft skills, you learn them here. All right. And that's what makes the best. All right. Everybody can know the technical stuff, right? Everybody can know the hard skills. You can know whatever has to be done in that particular field, know how to do those things. But what makes the best in their field are the soft skills, are the things you learn selling CUTCO, are the things you learn going out and running a branch office, doing a management internship. Like, that's the stuff that is going to serve you forever. And that's the stuff that sets you apart from just being good at what you do and knowing what you do and being the best at what you do. And so that, for me, we talk about this all, you know, every meeting I have up. It's like, what's our mission in GCK? Our mission is to develop the highest quality leaders in and out of the business. I want the best leaders in the nation coming through our organization. That because they worked with us in the Gulf Coast division of CUTCO, and the skills they gained and the connections they made and the people they got to know, because of that, they're out there doing incredible things. And so that's something that I want you guys to take a lot of pride in as leaders, managers, any of the district managers that are on here. And for you guys who are up and coming, it's like you've been given an opportunity that people would love to have. You know, I talked to a lady last week at our leadership event, and when we were at Leadership Academy, she said, I'm always overwhelmed. And I said, I can 100% relate with that. We started talking, and I said something I started telling myself when I get like overwhelmed. I'm like, you know what? I'm blessed to be busy. How many people are out there that wish that they could own their own business, that they could own 2 companies, that wish they could travel, that wish they could do all these things, that I used to do it. So sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much to get done. But taking a step back and looking at the perspective of like, man, we're like so blessed to be busy. We're so blessed to have work, and you guys, this opportunity, although sometimes you might be like, oh my gosh, I have homework to do, I have this, that. We have our meeting, we meet once a week locally, and those who are missing the local prep in your organizations, you guys can tune in. The pilot will be on Zoom on this exact link every Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Will be our link. If we switch it for a week because of stuff with schedule, we'll give you guys a heads up. And I know that at 10 a.m., it's also happening on Fridays at our assistant division manager's office in HTX. So that's also another option depending on what fits with your schedule, but making sure, are you staying on the weekly class? Do you know what's happening? You guys have the syllabus, but putting those things into action. So if you haven't, I know there's probably a couple of you on this call that haven't opened the emails yet, and that's okay. I know it's been busy, but we've got to get them open. I don't send a lot of emails, but I want you guys to have everything you need to make sure we're set up the right way. So you have all the documents you need for this month to help you guys be kick-ass recruiters. There's video links to help you, how to second man, how to create a recruiting funnel. We're going to add some stuff with interviewing, because this next week we'll start with, doing the intro to the interview. The middle of the interview is a video, all right? But you have to know how to connect with people pre-screening, how to introduce the video. At the end of the video, are you doing a great perk section? Are you great at sharing the vision of your office and what you guys are looking to build and what you're excited to build? And so some of you will be learning that quicker than others, and making sure we're getting that down so that we're testing. When we're at these, when we group together, it's about, okay, where are we at? What have we learned? And so in October when we meet, we're going to be reviewing all the September stuff. In November when we meet, we're going to be going over all the October stuff. When we meet after finals, we're going to put the rest of it together that you guys learned through the month of November. So just so you guys know. So today's meeting is to kind of set the tone, set the pace, and review the stuff that we went over this past week, but things that we need to know with making sure we know how to skills check, something that I want to review. And you guys have a video. I had recorded that when I trained my staff 2 weeks ago. So I put that video link. That is super important for you guys to watch, how to skills check, because I want to know, what are the 3 parts to closing? What are we looking for when you're skills checking someone? What are the different components? Those are things you need to know. So from now, this next week, take time to watch that video and take notes on it to make sure you know how to do that. That's going to help you develop amazing reps. And so for those who were there, like at CFC, I talked about, it's all about mastering the fundamentals. If you guys are amazing at your fundamentals, you guys are amazing at closing, recommendations, like the stuff, you know how to be great on the phones, you can be a great example for other people and show them how to do it too, And so making sure you guys have confidence in the basics, you guys have the fundamentals down, so we can help you guys excel at very high levels. And we're really excited to do that. So it's you, because then as we're bringing on more reps, and then it's getting good at, are you comfortable talking to anybody anywhere? If you're out playing pool, if you're out on college night, down wherever, where the bars are, and meeting up with people, or you're grabbing something to eat, and you meet someone who's super sharp, and you're like, maybe they're waiting your table, maybe they're just there hanging out with friends, and you're able to talk to them and say, hey, by the way, do you guys know anyone who might be looking for some work this fall? Or hey, what do you do for work? Like, what do you do for school? And just talking to people and be like, hey, you have amazing people skills. And I thought I work with a company, I'm one of the managers there, and we're always looking for great people who enjoy working with others. It's like, oh, what do you do? Or we're a big college student program. It's an entry-level sales and service position, about showing products, answering questions, and going through if they ask you about the job or what it is or how it works, but being able to tell them we're a huge student work program. We offer scholarships, college credits to teach you networking, time management, interpersonal skills, and being able to share the plus, the positives of like what's so great about working at your business, right? And so that's what the face-to-face tells you, like the perks right off the bat. So they go, oh shoot, yeah, tell me more. Like, how does it work? What do you do? You know? Or they're like, yeah, I want to learn. Like, sign me up. Like, where do I go? And we're able to get them set up for interviews. So are you guys out there, you know, constantly recruiting? Do you have confidence in talking to anybody anywhere? So if I say, Roland, right now, I'm sitting at school, I'm sitting at the table, and you walk over, what are you going to say?
Be like, hey, you know? Oh wait, can you unmute it?
No, I hear you. I unmute.
Oh, sorry. Hey, are you or do you anyone you know are looking for a job?
All right, cool. Maybe. What is it?
Cool. So it's an entry. That's it.
All right. We need to get really comfortable. And by the way, you can always keep it indirect and just be like, hey, do you guys know anyone that might be looking for some part-time work this fall? And just keep it super chill. So you're handing cards, you're handing pencils, whatever it is. You walk up to a table and you're just like, hey, do you guys know anyone who might be looking for part-time work this fall? All right, sweet. You know, and keep going from there. So, but getting really comfortable. So we're going to role play. We're going to drill through that a little bit later and then give you guys grades on them. So I need everybody's grade on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being perfect. You're going to grade each other, 1 being not so good. All right. And doesn't know it at all, just reading from the paper. All right. So you guys are going to grade each other. I'm going to grade some of you guys on here, but everyone's going to get a grade today that I'm going to have here. Choose to send those in so we can track and see where you're at progressing. You know, one of the big things I talked about last year is that we didn't hold everybody accountable how we should have. And I talked to the managers about this too, but people weren't held accountable. We didn't constantly drill you guys. There's people that just like didn't show up to meetings, didn't show up to things. And we were like, okay, you know what? They're great people. They have great potential. And that's my fault. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and let them do this or, you know, whatever it was. And I wanted to give them a shot because I know how much it would help them. I know like the benefits of learning how to start up a company. I know the benefits of getting a chance to run your own branch. You know, you do a mini term basically for 7 weeks of like learning how to start up a company. And then for freaking 2 months, 3 months, you still have 50% commissions. Like everything you sell, you make 50, you know, like you have someone like Eric's customer whose house got flooded and they bought $2,000. You just made $1,000, you know, like they buy $1,000, you just made $500. Like it's ridiculous to have that opportunity and to be able to impact and influence people, you know? And so we want everyone to have the chance to do that. We want to make sure, again, you guys are comfortable with stuff. So we're going to be grading you guys and we want to see who's really stepping up to the plate. I will tell you right now, if you do what you're supposed to do, if you get high grades, you know, each week when we're testing you guys, and once a month, we'll do grades on different things, but I'll also be talking to your managers to just get feedback from them. How are they doing? Are they showing up on time? Are they communicating properly, right? Communication is so important. So just so you guys know, things I look at and I hear about is timeliness, all right? Attendance to events. Are you where you're supposed to be? Are you at team meeting? Are you at prep, making sure that you guys are where you're supposed to be? Attendance is huge, all right? Responsibility. Are you someone that we can count on? If you say, if Roland's like, oh, I'm going here, I'm getting this done, do we know, oh yeah, it's done? Or are we like, oh, I wonder if it's gonna get done because he always says he's gonna do something and he doesn't do it, you know? So what does your word mean, you know? And your word should mean a lot to you, like that's your integrity. So making sure you're of your word, making sure that you do what you say you're gonna do, like those are things that I'm talking to the managers because I wanna know, hey, are these guys on top of their stuff? Are these guys doing what they're supposed to do? Are they communicating properly? I don't wanna chase anybody down. We're not a babysitter. Like we offer the premier opportunity for a college student, the best freaking internship that you can have. And for anyone who's not in school or graduating, the best foundation you can get right out of college. I think everyone should work with CUTCO for a couple of years as a district manager and really learn that startup, because if you want to have your law firm, you want to like just learning that process of those couple of years, it's freaking amazing. All right. While some people are going to be like, you know what, I love being in the field. Hell yeah. As you guys know from when I went around for the interviews, we're looking for to build our business. We're looking for career professionals, and we're looking to have, you know, 5 badass realtor reps who are working, selling, you know, $250,000 to $500,000 a year, all of them in our realtor program and building strong teams. We're looking to have 30 kick-ass service professionals, CUTCO sales professionals that work year-round, not just 12, you know? And so that's gonna take time to build over the next couple of years, but we want people who really enjoy working face-to-face with customers, doing service calls, doing shows, and like that's what they love doing, okay? And then we're looking for people who love coaching and teaching, all right? And that was my thing. Like Andy and I both ran branches, and he just really loved being in the field, and I really loved coaching and teaching. And there's not a what's better than the other. They're just different, all right? There's definitely a lot more perks to being a district manager in terms of building a business that you can leave and it's still working, and you're just working through your people, coaching your people. You've got your BMW, the car, the trips we go on are just unreal. And so I'm very, like, I know they spoil the heck out of us as the DMs because, we keep this thing going. We're working with the representatives. We're motivating them. We're congratulating them. We're encouraging them. We're problem solving with them. And so learning these things. I remember John Austin this summer, and this happened with a couple of different managers and even one of our veterans. I talked to one of our big five about this as well, where they were like, man, sometimes I can't get people to do things. And I had and by the way, I think about John Austin, when we had this conversation at the beginning of the year, I spoke to somebody who was 54 years old this past week, who's my partner. And he's like, yeah, I have a really hard time. Like when I tell people like, hey, here's what we need to get done. They just kind of like look at me, and I feel like I have like 3 heads, and they don't listen, and they can't process anything. And I feel like I can't get anything across. And I just started laughing. And he kept sharing with me stuff. And he's like, I just can't get them to do anything. And I asked the guy, and I said, well, tell me a little bit more. I said, okay. I said, I know I'm younger, but I do have some pretty good experience with managing, coaching, training teams. That's what I've done for over 15 years. I said, tell me a little bit more. And as we spoke, I asked him, I said, well, what are your people working for? Like, what are their like ultimate goals? Are they like trying to buy a house? Are they trying to do this? Are they wanting to advance in a business? Like, why are they working? Like what, not just like to pay the bills. Obviously everyone has to pay the bills, but like, do they have things that they're excited about working towards? And he looked at me like, I don't know. I said, well, that's a really big thing, because there's a difference between telling people, hey, here's what you need to do, or you need to do this. Because half of them are going to look at you and be like, F off. Like, I don't need to listen to you, or I don't want to listen to you, or whatever it is. Versus when you build a relationship with people and get to know them and get to know why they're working, why they're doing what they're doing, where they want to go with it. And then you're able to guide them, and you're able to make a plan for them to help them succeed at high levels. And I explained to him, I said, it's about knowing why they're working. It's what's in it for them. As managers, as business owners, we're coaches. And our job is to coach our people to help them get the experience and the income they want from working with us. And so if they're wanting certain things, make a plan. I said, so if you're helping this guy buy a house and you make a plan with him where blank from each paycheck goes to this, and if he can help you close X, Y, and Z deals, he gets a bonus for these deals and get him excited because that's going to help him put more money to buy that house. I said, now getting those deals is not just about getting a deal because it gets you more money, because he's like, I don't get it. If we close these deals, they get more money. And I said, I know, but what's the money for? And as a leader, as a manager, like as a great leader, you need to know like what it's for and be able to guide them, because when they have bad days, like, hey, I really want to help you get that ring for your fiance. I really want to help you buy that house. I want to help you get that car. Do you know why your people are working? Because again, we're not tiring someone to do. We're there to coach them and help them see the levels of success they want to see and achieve. And we're here to help guide them living their best life. Because they work with you guys, because they work with you, they should have more opportunities. Because they work with you, they should have vision for their future and what they want for their family. And I don't care what industry you guys end up in long term, if you get great at knowing why your people are working, what are some of their goals and dreams. And that's why you have that, by the way, in the back of the training manual, right? There's the dreams list. And you can write like the top dreams for different categories. That's a huge thing you guys can take to other businesses, other companies, when you guys are running things in all different fields, all right? Excuse loud dogs, I'm in the other room. But these are all things that you guys can utilize when coaching people, and it goes a long way. So I'm just sharing because I have a 54-year-old who was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. And I was just thinking about with you guys, and like the 5 levels of leadership, which is one of the books that I recommend to read this fall with John Maxwell. It's a fantastic book. And he talks about how people lead because, oh, I'm a manager, and it's because of title. And then some people lead from a level because of what they've accomplished. Some people lead because of what they've done for an organization. That's why people follow. They've accomplished a lot for the organization. Some people, they follow you because of what you've done for them, and how you lead them and how you coach them. And then the highest level of leadership is when people follow you because they want to be just like you. They want and that's your ethics, that's the decisions that you make, that's who you are, that's how you treat people, that's the family that you have, whatever it is. And it's an incredible thing. So I share this because as we go through this program, that's what I'm stoked about helping you guys develop and learn skill sets that, again, there's people in their 40s, 50s, 60s who never got this type of coaching, who never got this type of training. And so you guys are setting yourselves apart big time from anybody in your grade, in your class that's graduating. There's a big difference with CUTCO 20 years old and a CUTCO person and non-CUTCO. Very big difference in responsibility, reliability, and business smarts, you know, that goes into it. Being able to deal with rejection, being able to present ideas, it's just amazing. And you guys are gonna see that as we go through this process. So I'm super stoked to be able to coach you guys, super excited to really build this thing in a big way. So today we've got our agenda. Spencer is about to go on. You guys want pen and paper so you can take some notes. And I would have a notebook that you have dedicated to being like your CUTCO notebook so you can put everything CUTCO into it, all right? So have something. But he's gonna walk through, there's 4 different stages of learning. And this is so big for you guys as we're going through the process, as well as for when you're coaching other people, when you're coaching brand new people. Let me make sure, Spencer. So you guys want to make sure that you guys are taking notes on this as he goes through this. After we go over that, I'm going to go through just a quick financial tip. We're going to go through some money stuff for about 15 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes. And then we're going to dive into the topics and Joe Frisco, just kind of reviewing where we should be at and what you should know. And you guys are going to be grading each other, and some of you guys are going to be getting graded by myself or your district manager because they're going to do it for us. All right. So I want to bring up, I guess he's just going to speak. I think he might be coming in here. But Spencer, can you hear me? He's coming on over. Cool. So this is, and I can erase this here. By the way, actually, can you guys write this down before I erase this? Because I know he's going to want to use the board here. Can you guys write this down? So we've got daily big 5. I talked to the district managers about this, so if everyone can jot this down, because this is something that you want to know, whether you're in an office or you're not in an office on a daily basis. There needs to be somebody who's clocking out for the night, all right? And so these reports need to come to me. I need to know each day how the office finished up. So Hunter, whether you're in charge that night, or Roman, you're in charge, or Nemo, you're in charge, whoever's in charge that day to get reports in, you should be sending those to your district manager and copying me on it. Cool. So doing like a three-way text that has me in it so I can see what happened in the office that day. But there's big daily 5 that I want to know at the end of each day when you guys close up for the day. First one is I want to know active, what were our active touches that day? All right. So there's 2 parts to active touches. 1, PRs, right? How many PRs were scheduled for that day? And 2, how many campus touches came in? So that's active touches. So that's the first report, is how many active touches came in. You guys can look on Vector Live. There's a thing called advertising statistics, and that shows you PRs that were scheduled as well as campus touches that came in. But it's important that you guys hold each other accountable and make sure you're inputting all the PRs into Vector Live. That way we actually have that documented, okay? So that's really important. The second thing is training, set for training, cool? So 2 parts. Number 1, how many were signed that day? And then number 2 is how many are set for training. So the second of the big 5, you would say, Eric, you'd say, hey, we signed 5 today. We currently have 28 set for training on Thursday. Cool. So number 1, hey, Kat, we set 22 PRs today. We had 48 campus touches. Those were our active. Number 2, we signed 5 today. We have 28 set for training. Number 3, how many are set for interviews for tomorrow? You're like, we have 32 so far set for interviews for tomorrow. The 4th thing is CPO for the day and week. We sold 1248 today, which puts us at 6478 for the week. Our goal is to get to 20K in business or whatever it is. All right. And the 5th thing is number of demos for tomorrow. All right. So every day when you guys are leaving the office, and you should be posting this, by the way, in your group me, like your staff group me. So whoever was that day, you're like, boom, like that's the clock out for the day. Here's what happened today. And I think about always, like, for you guys as you're learning and as you're running functions, like what went well that day and what could have gone better. So I would jot that down. What went well that day and what could have gone better. And so making sure you guys are constantly always improving with what you're doing. All right. So we want to help you. We want to help you guys succeed at a high level. If we don't know what's happening and we're not looking at it daily, it's a lot harder to fix it later. But if we can see what's happening on a day-to-day basis, we're like, oh, hey, fix this or fix that. And we can make some tweaks and make sure that you guys are on the right path. Cool? So I'm gonna pass things over to my amazing husband to go over with you guys. And this is a great, and he'll go over, but this was something that remember I learned years ago when I was in CUTCO. And it's something from outside of CUTCO, but it's huge for how you learn the stages that we're in, and just really being aware of where you're at in your learning process helps you really manage emotions a lot better, and it helps us as managers be able to coach other people as you're coaching others. So I'm gonna erase this, pass it over.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Hello, everyone. So I actually asked Kathy that I could speak on this because it was something that I thought was crucial in the beginning, starting Leadership Academy, to ensure that you're laying the foundation for your success in the businesses that you're trying to build, whether it's your branch or building your district or even a business outside of it. So you understand how to teach people and the processes they actually go through in learning something. So the topic of this talk is going to be the 4 stages of learning. Now, before I kick this off, I have a question. My question is, what is the definition of leadership? And anybody can answer this.
You have to unmute.
After I unmute you guys, of course.
And then just...
All right, so. Oh, God. All right, so if you have an answer, unmute yourself so you can give it. What is the definition of leadership? You can't. Anyone? Don't all speak at once.
We're open.
What was that?
The action of leading a group of people or an organization.
Okay. A leader does lead people.
That was straight off Google.
That is straight off of Google.
That's what I said.
Great job. Well, let me take it one step further and let's be better than Google. So the definition I actually learned last week at Leadership Academy, and this is why I wanted to bring it up, is because this is exactly what we do in CUTCO. And it's a leader is someone who has a vision that impacts and influences other people willingly to take on that same vision, make it their own, and bring it to fruition. So I'll repeat that. I'm just a loud person. Please, I'm going to sweat here. A leader is someone with a vision who impacts and influences others willingly to take on that vision, make it their own, and bring it to fruition. So, as a leader, what allows you to impact and influence others?
Your own motivation.
Okay, your motivation.
The confidence to do so.
Confidence is crucial. Without confidence, you can't influence other people, right? If you're trying to close a sale and you're not confident in them buying, right? Confidence is crucial. And how do you gain confidence?
Through experience.
Experience, repetition, right? Doing the action over and over again. Basically, it's mastering your craft, whatever that may be, whether it's selling, managing PCs, anything you do is a craft, it's a skill. So in learning these and mastering it, there's 4 stages. So you want to make a box and you want to divide it up into 4 sections. Can you all see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go from left to right and then top to bottom. So the first quadrant, you're going to write at the top here, you're going to write unconscious. Now, I'm going to define these and go over them in a minute, but just create the box for right now so you can follow along with how it goes. So to the right of that, you're going to write conscious. Now, in the first box going down, you're going to write incompetent. Now, I'm not calling you incompetent by any means, but that's just the realm that this is going to be labeled as. And then below that is competent. Competence. Okay. So the first quadrant, quadrant 1, is you want to write a key hit down here so you know it's unconscious incompetence. That's the name of quadrant 1. Unconscious incompetence. What this means is you don't know what you don't know. In essence, you didn't know CUTCO exists until you came in for your interview. You didn't know there was a manual to sell knives until you went to training. So you don't know what you don't know. If you haven't been exposed to it, then you have no idea. You're in quadrant 1. Now, to move from quadrant 1 to quadrant 2 is conscious competence. Conscious incompetence, sorry. So here, we're at number 2. We're conscious of our inabilities. So that's saying that you know the alphabet exists, and you know that this alphabet creates words, but you don't know how to make it happen yet. This is like grade school, right? Your knowledge of it, you know English exists, you know your parents speak to you, but you don't know how to create those words yet. You just know A, B, C, D, E, F, G, okay? That's unconscious, that's conscious incompetence. That means you're aware of something, you know there's still things to learn, and you need to gain those experiences. Now, the third quadrant is where I would say the average person lives, and that's over here, in the conscious competence. So quadrant 3 is conscious competence. Now, conscious competence is probably the biggest point where people fail. All right, let me give you an example. I'm sure all of you have been told something before. You're having a conversation with somebody and you've been exposed to this material before. Maybe it's in, you know how to close. You're like, follow your recommendation approach. And everyone's like, I know. Now, as soon as you say, I know, what does your brain tend to do?
Shut up.
It doesn't listen.
It doesn't listen. You said, I know, so your brain says, this is a waste of my time to continue listening to this conversation. And you daydream. You move away from the conversation. Here is where it's crucial in learning. You need to be very focused on the words you say to yourself in your head. Because I know means that you should be able to spit it back to me word for word like your rec approach if I woke you up at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's I know. That's mastery. If you're familiar with, you should remind yourself, oh, I've heard of this before. That way your brain doesn't shut off to learning it because you haven't mastered it yet. Most people get stuck between stages 2 and 3. They very rarely make it to 4. 4 is unconscious competence. We'll get to that in a second. So you need to catch yourself because a lot of you are going to migrate to quadrant 3. And the average person stops when they get to quadrant 3 because they think they know it. Well, knowing is to be familiar with. Mastery is what creates success. So you need to be here in quadrant 3, you're thinking of the mechanics. You need to be catching yourself. It's like, you know your demonstration so well that you could not look at your manual, and if you miss something, you know exactly where it's at. You're catching yourself on the fundamentals, the mechanics of what creates success. When you're in that quadrant, you're almost close to mastering, but the average person stops when they get to knowing. So don't get caught up with knowing. You need to get to quadrant 4, which is mastery. And the reason I wanted to talk about this through the process of Leadership Academy right off the bat is you're going to get exposed to the same information time and time again. And the purpose is not to make you feel dumb or in your inability. It's to remind yourself that the basics are crucial. I say this because this summer I dealt with a lot of managers, a lot of the second-time branches I had conversations with, and they had forgotten what got them to success at the beginning. And they had to reframe it. And it's always going back to the basics. The basics are crucial in anything. It's like if you don't know how to add or subtract, you can never do calculus. The same thing in any business and in your self-success in life is you have to master the basics. So a lot of us are going to get stuck in this I know category. And you need to get yourself to the mastery category by catching yourself's internal conversations, making sure that you're moving to the mastery and that you don't know, you understand, you're familiar with. Okay? So unconscious competence is like, has anyone ever, or this is like you're driving home and you don't even think about driving. You just remember, all of a sudden you end up in your driveway. Everything went well, you're safe at home, but you don't remember the right turn at the McDonald's, the left turn at CVS. You've just done it so many times that it's natural. That's the level you need to be at to be the greatest, right? And this is going from good to great. The good stay at I know, great move to mastery. And when you look back at the greats, Michael Jordan's my favorite example. Did not start out at the best, but he had a drive and a passion and a commitment to learning. Because we know learning, knowledge is power, and skills create success. So he moved himself all the way to the mastery, but he did it by working harder than anybody else. So in Leadership Academy, I challenge you to make sure that you're not stopping at I know, that you've just seen it a couple times. Mastery is being able to remove your script from your hand and actually recite it word for word. Now, I want to take it one step further. I learned from a guy, I've sent a couple of you guys a video to Tim Grover. Tim Grover is actually he's the mental coach for Michael Jordan, Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant, basically all the big time stars in basketball. This guy coached them to become to have the mental capacity to handle tearing your Achilles, walking up to the free throw line and sinking 2 free throws to win the game. Or getting Michael Jordan through the flu game. A game where he had food poisoning, shouldn't even got on the floor, ended up dropping like 32 points to win the game. Like, he coached these people, and you go from mastery to what he calls cleaner. Now, a cleaner is where you can recite everything word for word. Nothing can stop you. I don't care if you're giving a speech, someone stops you in the middle of it, you pick it up exactly where you were, and you finish it with confidence, and you crush it. But you have to go through these levels and understanding that mastery is not the end. Mastery is just the beginning, because you have to keep adding. And learning, you need to make sure you do this for all parts. So there's the basics, then there's the intermediate, and then there's the advanced skills. That's where you become a cleaner. But you have to walk yourself through all 4 categories in each phase. And you have to be cognizant of this, because a lot of people get caught up with, I know, I've heard this before. But if you can't recite to me word for word what I'm going to tell you, then you don't know you're familiar with. So really catch yourself on your language. And going through Leadership Academy, that's the biggest thing I see is success and failure, is mastering of the basics and what your internal conversations are. Is your language positive or negative? Are you telling yourself there's more to learn, or are you telling yourself your brain's got it and that's good enough? Because you wouldn't be in college and trying to grow if you would have learned English and that was it, right? There's more to it. There wouldn't be college level English classes, mathematics classes, physics, all these things you've learned years ago. You didn't learn them, you were exposed to them, okay? So going through school, going through Leadership Academy, just understand that you don't know, you're familiar with right now, until you become a Hall of Famer. And I guarantee even the Hall of Famers, you ask them, they have to refine the skills. They have to go back to the basics. Because once you get to mastery, there's a whole nother level of experience that's necessary, because you can't just master it, because then you go walking through the motions. You have to be engaged. You have to have that mental capacity to focus and get yourself to where you want to go. And wake yourself up at times when you find yourself in a lull, when you think you're in mastery, but you're really in just understanding. So with this moving forward, make sure that you are spending, Malcolm Gladwell says to master something, it takes 10,000 hours. Now, that number is not necessarily you hit 10,000, you're automatically going to know everything. It's a relative number. And what it means, and what it comes down to, is repetition is key to success. The more you use it, the more you practice it, the better that skill is, the better the muscle is. You just don't get big biceps overnight. You have to go to the gym every day, every week. And it's not just a once a month or for a couple months. It's over and over and over again. You know, if you ask anybody why Michael Jordan was so good, he was in the gym an hour before everybody and left an hour later than everybody else, even in his peak time. When he was the best, he was known as the best in the league. He still worked harder than everybody else because he knew he could never get complacent. And if you want to win a silver cup, you want to be the best manager or the best asset to a team, you need to make sure you're carving out your time to master your learning, to take yourself through these steps and practice and get that repetition. You know, you can take 20 minutes and recite some of these scripts 4 or 5 times, and that's only going to take you a little bit of time. Don't overthink it. 1 or 2 times of practice a day is better than 0. And one thing I learned as a brand new manager, and I would tell you, I walked my kids through this when I first started, and that's why I had my first summer. We had a $240,000 summer, and I never ran an office before I was a DM. I went straight to district from assistant manager. But when you can walk your reps through this thought process, or you can catch them and you're like, they think they know, but they think they've mastered it, but they really only know, and you can help them get to that mastery. Use this for your learning yourself and for teaching other people, all right? It's huge, it's crucial. Catch yourself, use your language, and just practice. Practice is all you're gonna need to be successful. I did not know how to run training when I first started my office, but what I did know better than anybody else is how to run an interview. I ran an interview better than anybody else did, and that's why I crushed it my first summer, is because I knew what I had mastered and I had other areas to work on. And I used what I knew best to make myself successful, to make my team better. So pick something during Leadership Academy for the first quarter to master. What is it gonna be? Is it gonna be your PR approach? Is it gonna be your interview? Is it gonna be your PC? But pick one of them and really master it, because it takes about, they say 21 to 66 days to master something if you put in enough effort. I would say master, to create a habit. 21 to 66. It used to be just 21. Because of our society and our inability to focus and concentrate, it's moved out to close to 66 days to create habits. So if you're doing it 1 hour a day, you'll have that programmed in your body by the next academy. And then you can master something else. And by summertime, you're going to crush it. But take the little steps now. It doesn't have to be these quantum leaps. Small little steps to create that success. So I challenge you to study, spend a little bit of time more than you think you do, because the more you spend now is exponentially going to grow your business come summertime. I can guarantee it, because you're going to keep learning as Leadership Academy goes. If I think about it back, it's college. In college, they don't review what they taught last week. They review what you were supposed to read the week going into. For those of you who don't know, they're not going to tell you the answers. You have to figure it out yourself, and they're going to talk about what you were supposed to read. So if you were preparing yourself and reading a little bit before the next academy, you're a step up, so you're learning. You're not trying to take notes then, and you're honing those skills. So I'm excited to see what we're going to do in this off season. Remember, championships are won in the off season, not during the season. It's what you put in now that's going to create your success come summertime. So put in the effort. A little bit is better than nothing, and the little bit you do now is going to change immensely. So keep rocking. I'm excited to see what you guys do, and have a great night.
Sweet. Let's get all over the place. All right. Awesome. And these are, by the way, these are things that you guys can utilize as you're working with people or coaching people, being able to walk through and understanding where they're at the moment. I think sometimes I've seen managers where they try to go through stuff, and someone they haven't gone through this process, or they weren't conscious of something and they think oh, they've got it, or your emotions are going to be different places, when you have confidence in what you're doing and when you don't. I think one of the biggest things he talked about, which we see all the time, is just the I know factor, just how that closes you off, and not forgetting that when you say those words, immediately your brain just goes, oh, I don't need to listen. And there's always stuff you can take, and there's always ways that you can improve, and there's always ways you can just keep getting better and better. And so that's what you guys want to be looking at. It's a constant and never ending improvement. And that's something that I strive for in my personal life on different aspects, and it's definitely not all perfect, but I'm always wanting to get better and just make progress. And so keep that for yourself too. It's what little things can you take every time you hear a talk, when you hear something, when you watch a video? What can you take from it that you can implement? Sometimes it's that one little thing that completely changes the trajectory of your business, of your life, because of a decision or something that you made. So awesome stuff. And thank you for sharing that with us. So I wanted to go through real quick, money. We talked about as we dove into Leadership Academy, there were things that were super important as we went into this. You know, one was making sure that you guys understood the importance of, you know, attendance to meetings. And so great. I know we have, again, some of the guys who are playing sports, so I know who they are, and I've got stuff in line, but exciting to have this group here that we have streaming. Right now we have over, I believe 55 people that are on between the different offices and what we're doing here. My goal is to help you guys stand out amongst everybody. And the thing is, and I mentioned this earlier, but if you do the right things, you set yourself apart, you're getting to where you need to get to, you have money saved, you have high grades from your managers, like we will find a place for you. You know, like I've talked to Lloyd, and Lloyd's like, if your people are better than the other people, they're gonna take their spots. So I think about for anyone who really wants the opportunity, I know for me, like I was in London, I came back, I'm like, I want to branch. Like I wanted to branch, I wanted to have that experience under my belt. I'm so glad I did. I wish I would have started with CUTCO earlier and I would have had time to do a couple more. But it's just such an unbelievable experience to get to go out there and like go through that process. And it's not easy. But I learned so much from that helped me in my life, personally and professionally. And so this is something that I know is just so good for people. And Lloyd and I talked, and I said, look, I have so many amazing candidates, and I don't have, 50 spots. I don't have 30 spots for that matter. We spoke, and he's like, look, make sure if your people are where they need to be, we're going to find them a spot. And even if we expand and your people are better than the guys who are over in Lone Star, or better than the guys who are up in Dallas, or better than the guys this way, like we want the best talent helping grow the division. And so we're going to give people opportunities, but we want the best people out in the front line who are going to be the best example of who we are and what we do. We're going to coach people, inspire people, and empower people at the highest level. And that's something that we're super excited is, helping people be their best version of them, right? And so we pull that out of them. By the conversations that we have, by the leadership that we have, by the relationships that we build with them, we pull the best out of people and making sure that you guys know how to do that. So we talked about, going through leadership skill sets and just learning different things of leadership and management. We talked about money being a factor for you guys. And so I want to dive into that a little bit, and I want to give you guys just a quick lesson that I learned. And this is like 101. It was really more something cool that my manager shared. He two things when I started off in GCLA and I started saving money. And I remember I sat down with Mr. Hofberg and he said two things. One is a $100 rule. And this is something that I would encourage you guys all applying. Is if anything that you're going to buy is over $100, get it approved by your manager. Really get it approved by me. Like, Kathy, I'm looking at this, and run that by and just have that. I remember him telling me, he's like, if it's ever over $100, talk through it first, and really see, is that investment one that I really want to make, that I feel is worth it? That's number one. He goes, and two, if you do, whatever you spend that wasn't in your original budget, he's like, anything that you spend that's not in your budget, then you put that into your savings. So if you're like, yeah, I'm going to spend this $100 that you weren't planning on spending, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this, right? And that's something that you're excited about, then cool. If it's worth it, then you go ahead and you put that away, the same amount. So you spend 100, you put 100 into your savings. And so that was something that early on, I remember he had me do, and it was so amazing because what I found was sometimes when I was going to get something, like, this isn't worth it, because I always had to double the price, right? If I was going to spend it, I had to double the price, because half of it I was spending, half of it I was saving. And so some things I was like, this is not worth it. So it stopped me from spending money at times. And then other times I just saved more. So I was like, no, I want to do this, but I was putting more money away, and then I had to work harder to make sure all my stuff was paid. And so that was really cool. So starting early. And I want to show you guys, this was something that a friend of mine had shared with me, and I know some of the district managers have seen this. All right, can you guys see the 10 years with Vector? Yeah, all right, cool. So check this out. So this was something that one of my mentors had shown me a long time ago, and I was blown away by this. And this is why I wish I would have started earlier, and I would have started saving earlier, and why we're so adamant about like helping you guys with your money. So this is begin investing at 23, all right? And so those of you who are older than 23, you can just invest more. Those of you who are younger, you're so freaking lucky. And most people on this call right now, you are younger than 23. And I wish I would have started this when I was 17, 18, 19. But check this out. So 10 years, if you work 10 years, then you can retire independently wealthy. Check this out. So if you started at 23, you stopped at 33, and you invested no more money, all right? So you're just letting the money grow for 32 more years until you're 65, all right? And check this out. So this is based on like a 10% growth. So campaign one, when you're starting off in the first campaign, you're putting $25, all right? Then you're doing it, and so you can pick which one. Maybe you can do 25, maybe it's 100, maybe it's 200. But if you can afford $25 a month that you're just putting aside in campaign one, in the summer, putting $300 a month, all right? So it's 75 bucks a week that you put away. And then in campaign three, 25 bucks a month. You invested 1,400 bucks for each of those 10 years, all right? After 32 years, guys, that's $500,000. Cool? Like just shy of $500,000. So that's pretty phenomenal. If you look at the next example, $100 a month, all right? $100 a month, $500 in the summer, $100 in the fall. And again, that's $25 per week that you guys are putting. So in the first example, it's $8 basically per week that you're putting aside, not even, it's like $6.50 that you're putting aside per week. In the $100 example, you're putting aside $25 per week. But if you guys check this out, all right, you invested $2,800 a year, all right, 10% growth over the 10 years. You have the number there, 46 grand. After 32 years, that's just shy of $1 million, $984,000, $624. $200 a month, you guys see there, it turns into $1.7 million, and $400 a month. All right, then in the summer, $2,200 a month, and in the fall, $400 a month. That's $4.2 million after 32 years. So I just want to show you guys that, because it doesn't have to be like huge numbers, even the small wins. I mean, who feels they could put aside $25 a month, you know, and then during the summer, put it up a little bit. And so in the summertime, go after it. Those of you guys running branches, you make half. $300 a month means you freaking sell a galley set, you know, and dedicate that galley to your savings. That's it. But just easy wins at a young age of what you can do. So I remember seeing this long ago, and I was like, dang, you know, and it's little wins. So you don't have to always be like, oh, when can I put $500 in my account? Some of you guys are like, oh, I'm waiting, you know, and that's awesome. It's awesome. Angela was able to put in $2,000, $3,000. People were able to write checks for different amounts, $1,000, $800. But you don't have to do that. Those are great. And when you can do big chunks, do it. Put money away, put money into savings, force yourself to save. But little amounts of money, that $25 you were going to spend at the bar and you just put it away, like just having that discipline where you're like, hey, 25 bucks each month, I'm just putting away, like what that can do for you long term. So I really want you guys thinking about it, because I didn't think about this when I was younger, and I wish I would have been exposed. I didn't start CUTCO until I was going to my junior year of college. And I wish I would have known about it earlier on. But it's just incredible when you start developing those habits now, what that can do for you. And so some of you guys have had the conversation of going through budgets, because you do pay for stuff yourself. Like I paid for all my stuff myself. And this is a great thing for you guys to sit down and look at and say, okay, let's see, my budget. What do I need to pay my monthly, what is it? And so some of you guys pay car, insurance, apartment, food, phone, you pay everything. Some of you pay some things. And so knowing what's your monthly amount of what you need to pay all of your bills. How much do you want to be saving? Some of you guys have 30%, 40%, 50% of your checks going to withholdings. Awesome. I want you to plan with just the 50. So if I have 50% withholdings, all right, and I need to make $800 a month, well, what I really need to make is $1,600 a month, because $800 is going to go into my savings. And then $800 is what I need to pay my car and stuff. So I need to make $1,600 a month. So when I map my numbers out, I'm like, all right, I need to sell about 5,000, you know, per month. So $1,250 per week in order for me to be on my earnings and savings goals, you know? So I wouldn't change. Some people like lower their savings. And I would say go more aggressive on your savings and force yourself to have higher numbers. It doesn't take anything crazy to get that done. I don't know if everyone shared with you guys, but I want you guys to write this down for you. And I want you guys to be able to share this with any sales representative that you guys are working with or coaching. This was something they went over at CFC with the district manager team. And it's just so powerful for our students. And this is, write down 10, 20, 30K. 10, 20K, 30K crew. All right. And as far as these, so right here, so when someone earns 10K, so write this down, a brand new rep that starts this summer, all right, you guys, many of you are higher percentages, so you can do your own math, but someone starting brand new, if they sell 10K for the campaign, how much do they make? $2,000, cool, jot that down. So if they sell $10,000, they make $2 grand, $20,000. If they sell $20,000, you guys can make a note, they make $5,000, cool, $5,000. If they sell 30,000, they make right around 9 grand. Cool? Right around 9 grand is what they earn. And so I want you guys to see this because this is someone, again, starting from scratch, brand new, working their way up. You guys have different percentages so you can do math. What does it take to get this done? And if you look at it, to sell $10,000, it takes 40 appointments. So guys, jot this down. That means if they're in the 10K crew, if they want to make $2,000 this fall part-time around school, they need to do 10 appointments per month. Cool? Jot that down, 10 appointments per month. This is for you. If you're at Dirty 30, you're like, I want to make 3 grand this fall, you need to sell 10 grand. All right, you need to do 10 appointments per month. So that comes out to two and a half demos per week that needs to be done. You have someone who wants to make 5 grand this fall. Cool, like that's the number they're saying. I want to make 5 grand this fall. Even if they just started, it's 20,000. What does that mean? 20 demos per month. Jot it down, 5 demos per week. Jot that down. So when you're planning out their schedule, hey, if you want to make 5 grand this fall, which by the way is huge, that's a big number for a lot of college students to earn 5 grand around school. It's awesome. All it takes is 5 demos per week. Cool. Now, let's say they have a busy month, right? Roman, they have like exams coming up, they have like stuff with football, all this stuff going on. They know they need to do 20, but maybe they have a week where they could do more. So maybe one week they do 12, and the next week they do 2, and the next week they couldn't do any, and then they do the last 6, But it's holding them accountable to make sure, are they getting 20 per month? So if there's a week that's gonna be really busy with school and really busy, with studying, whatever, sports, plan properly. Hey, when can we have a week where you go big on those demos because the other weeks you're going to have to take off. By the way, this is specific to you guys as well. So knowing like, hey, you want to win a scholarship this fall. By the way, anyone who does $30,000 in the fall is usually a scholarship winner. I don't think I've ever seen someone sell 30 grand non-summer and not win a scholarship. So it's really just consistency. And what that comes out to, $30,000, guys, it's 30 demos per month. It's 7.5 demos completed per week. That's what it is, 7.5 demos completed per week. So 30 demos for the month. And you're a scholarship winner. And they just earned $9,000. If it's you made whatever, 10, a little bit more, but they made like 8,000 and change. You made, 9,500 or 10,000 or 12,000 or, more. Those of you who ran branches and you're making 50 this month, you do that. You're making some pretty amazing income, making 50% this month and then going to that. But I just want to show you guys this because it doesn't take, you don't have to do demos all the time, every day, whatever. Like, it's just about consistency. It's about helping people have a schedule that they're excited about. So every rep on your team, are they going to be part of the 10K crew this fall? Dirty 30 fall. Are they going to be part of the 20K crew? Are they going to be part of the scholarship crew? What group are they going after? And then are you helping them make sure they get 10 demos done per month, 20 demos done per month, or 30 demos done per month? Cool. And breaking that down in their schedule. Again, that's 2.5, 5, or 7.5 demos completed per week. They want to have, if they're going for 30, I would be putting in their schedule, do they have time for 10 demos? Because they might have a reschedule, something happens, whatever. Like, you just want to give a little bit of room to cover, like 20% extra to make sure that they're always hitting their goal. So that's something that you guys can utilize for yourself and use for others, because we want to see you guys leading by example. We want to see you guys going out there and earning phenomenal income week in, week out. And whether it's just $300 a week, $200 a week, whatever it is, it's $500, $1,000. You know, everyone's going to be different, but do you have your, 1 day, 2 days, whatever it is that you're dedicating to go out and rock your demos? Some of you guys might be 3 days, which is awesome. But most students, like when I was a student, it was 2, sometimes 3 days. And if it was a third day, it was just like 1 or 2 demos on that day because I had it open, I didn't have a project due, and I was like, oh, I'll put in a demo or 2 here, you know? But my schedule had 2 days a week, 1 half day that I did 2 or 3 demos, and 1 full day that I did 4 to 7 demos, which for me was Saturdays. So whatever day it is for you, you guys have football Saturday, so then it's Friday, you know, whatever it is. But making sure we have that. So we want to see you guys financially fit. And in order to be financially fit, it's going to take consistent rocking your virtual demos, you know, going out there, working, doing your live demos consistently. I know that Damien had said he would do a special workshop just for our division to go over some tips on virtual demos. We got check here. So I know Damien, he called me while we were here before, but that's something that we can definitely link you guys up to help you with that. If you feel like you want extra tips or keys, I know that Tay talked about stuff at SE2. I know Damien rocked his talk at CFC, and I know that he's willing to do something for our division to just give some extra support so we can make sure that we're crushing it. So for us right now, it's time to get back to work all throughout the division. You know, like I mentioned earlier, and for those who weren't there, like we have a tool we can serve and we can get back. And so I think it's our responsibility to go out and use that, all right? So I want to talk about this. We're going to break up now to do a little bit of role play. And some of you guys that are on here, you can talk with somebody else that's on here. You're going to be reading to yourself out loud. It's going to be a little bit noisy. But I want to go through so we can drill real quick. We've got, for this lesson, if you guys pull up, and I want to review dates, and just for anyone who missed it for whatever reason, I do want to make sure that you guys go in, like I said, and open up your email so you guys are on the same page with everything. But I do, hold on, let me share this with you guys. Just kidding, I just lost you guys. I lost the window. There we go. All right, so let's see here and share screen. All right. So if you guys look here, so this is GCLA of what we're going through, so you guys can all see here. So you've got, when we were in Austin, we went through tips for campus, but a lot of it was given in the talks, and we went through some tips on PRs, but really Lloyd jumped in and gave a great talk on just back to school, getting organized, getting focused. So I'd say I'd listened to the intro that I went in that meeting and listened to Lloyd. Those are the two most important things to check out. And then if you want to go through the keys that we went over, that Cody and Wasim and I went over on PRs and campus, I would check them out. But for sure, you want to make sure you watch the intro and Lloyd to make sure you're set up properly. Someone asked me today, oh, what chapter 1 of what are we supposed to be reading? Suggested reading for this month is the Entrepreneurship Roller Coaster, which I'll share some stuff with you guys at the end. And if anyone's read the intro or chapter 1, it's a fantastic book when you're starting a business. And if you guys have other stuff like takeaways from it, we'll share those. But right now, this past week, last week, was going over face-to-face and PR approach and making sure you guys were feeling good with that, which I sent you guys the attachments. And then this week was PC number 1 and how to skills check. And so I want to make sure we know how to skills check. So in the videos that I sent you, there's links to that. So you can watch it real quick and you can take some notes on it. It's super simple, but I want to make sure that we get that done. So you guys can put homework for this week. I need notes on how to skills check. So watch it, write them down. It's like, I think it's 35 minutes or something. Nemo's actually doing his closing for me and goes through recommendations. So we walk through what you want to look at when you're skills checking. So those of you who were there live, I would re-listen to it again and get refreshed on that. But I want to make sure you guys are amazing at skills checking and we're all doing it the same way. Because if we do that, we're going to develop powerhouse sales representatives. So that's what we're working on right now is this week was how to skills check, and PC number 1 is like getting their list together. So I believe that I shared that with you guys, and so I want to make sure that we have that, but I want to walk through after we do this. So right now, the face-to-face approach, I had put it in the SE2 leaders group, the most updated one. And so I want you guys to, if you guys can take that out, because we're going to grab partners and go through this. And by the way, partners, if managers are there with you, managers, you can give them grades, walk around and listen. Those who are not, you guys are going to do some out loud so we can make sure we get your grade on this. But if you guys can open emails or take out the face-to-face, I gave you guys the, let me make sure I have it here. All right, the 2017 face-to-face. Pull up recent. All right. So I have this here for anyone who's on here and you want to check this out, and so I can check here. So I will share screen on this just in case you don't know what I'm talking about. This is what you're looking for, okay? So this document right here, if you guys have this up, I want to go through. So I went through this at CFC, and guys, you want to make this super chill, all right? And so you're walking up to people, you have a card or you have a pencil, you know, something that you're handing to them, whether they're eating lunch, they're studying, people are passing by, and it's a real quick, hey, do you guys happen to know anyone who might be looking for part-time work this fall? All right, and that's it. And so as we get closer to the holidays, you'll say, oh, looking for, you know, some help over the holidays. They say no, you're like, all right, have a great day. They say, oh, what kind of job, or what is it, or maybe, or any variation that inquires for more information, then you've got 3 bullets there. You're just like, hey, it's an entry-level customer sales service position, and I like bolded the main parts, like National College Student Work Program, and just letting them know we're really focused on developing interpersonal skills, presentation skills, time management, organization, networking, you know, among other things. So schedules are super flexible. We give 100 scholarships annually, and you can even earn college credits. So the job attracts a ton of students, but we do work with non-students too. All right, and they're like, oh, cool. And then that's where right there, like I usually just have my phone. You might have a sign-up sheet, but even if you don't have a sign-up sheet, literally you can just use your phone, and you're just like, oh, hey, I actually have a link that I can send you with more information. It even has a place where you can apply for you or for anyone who's interested. Were you looking for work, or was somebody else, or did you know someone? And they're like, oh, my friend. You know, I'm like, all right, cool. Do you have their number? Do you want me to just send it to you? And then you could send it. Sometimes it's for them, but they don't want to say it's for them because they don't want to be committed to the conversation longer. So we talked about that at CFC. But just make sure to ask, hey, what's your cell? Like, yeah, I'll text that over to you real quick. Make sure you type their, so you're like, oh, hey, Julie, this is Kathy from campus. You know, check out the link, talk to you later, or whatever. So have a pre-made message where you're going to just input their name when you send it over to them, and then it has your name, you know, great to meet you, have a great day. So we have that. So you can send that over. So you guys want to talk to your managers to see, you know, do you have a Google form? So a lot of us, when we share different campuses, we'll just use a Google form. With the advertising, pencils, everything we're putting out, it just has GCK website, like it has our main website, so they're going to apply to wherever they go. But anyone you talk to personally face-to-face, those will go to your office. When you guys are going around campus talking to people, those are your PRs. You personally recruited them from campus. So if you're in class memo, you talk to people, you pass a sheet around, those are your PRs. So it's up to you to call them, set them up, make sure they get started, so you can get additional bonuses that come with that. And this is how you can all be top national team builders in the nation as well, which we want to help you guys build. So after you go through here, it just says, hey, if it's for a friend, hey, pass it along. Anyone else that might be interested. Now, if it was them, all right, if they say, oh yeah, I'm looking for work, that's where I go into this right here, okay? By the way, I just skipped this. If you guys notice, if they ask exactly what you do, most of the time I don't even talk about that. It's just if they're like, oh, well, how does it work? If they ask specifically, how does it work? That's where I would answer that, all right? So you would say, hey, basically our representatives work with customers one-on-one, face-to-face. They show our products, answer questions, help them place orders. We don't do any door-to-door telemarketing. It's all appointments like a realtor. So either they can do it at home, you know, on the computer, or they can do it face-to-face. It's totally up to them. Are you pretty comfortable working with customers one-on-one? Like, oh yeah, like awesome. Like, have you had jobs before? You know, you can chat with them a little bit. If they're engaging in the conversation, you can engage longer and like, let's recruit them. Let's get them set for an interview. So I'm like, hey, what's your schedule look like today or tomorrow? Do you work anywhere currently? And just ask them. You're like, hey, the reason I ask is my manager's conducting interviews to fill some spots, and I can actually set you up to meet with them and go over the details, and you can answer any questions. You know, or if you're the one running the interview, you can say, hey, the reason I ask is we're actually screening through applications later today, and I have a bit more time to sit and go over the details with you and answer any questions you have. Can you meet later today? And just finding out, like, all right, cool. How does blank time work? You know, and finding that out and going from there. So you want to make sure and just have them say, hey, text me your email real quick, and I'll get you all set up for the interview. And so you can interview them either on campus. Like today, we reserve library rooms to run interviews at Lone Star Sci-Fair Library. just because our office is shut down, but you can do that anyway. We did that over in University of Houston, but you guys can reserve a library room, and meet with some people. So have that in the afternoon. You're like, yeah, at 3 o'clock, I'm gonna be meeting with a couple of people to go through the details of the job, and be able to actually do that. That's awesome. Some of you guys don't know how to do that yet, but learning how to recruit, knowing how to recruit, being able to do that on campus, it's a win-win. It's a win for you. You get more people that you recruited there. It's a win for them. They don't have to go anywhere. And so you're able to have a higher percentage show and then obviously get more people into your training. So that's a really positive thing. So we're going to take, right now, we're going to take like 10 minutes, okay? We're going to role play through this. And I want you guys to drill. Everyone's going to grab a partner, stand up, grab a partner. If you don't have a partner, make the chair your partner. Those of you guys who are on here, that are not with a group of people, you're just going to say it out loud. Say it out loud to yourself. Just say it out loud again. You really want to say it like 10 times. Once you've said something about 10 times, your brain gets it. It feels comfortable with it. So you want to do that. And then we're going to be grading. And so managers and whoever you're with your partner, you're not going to grade them on their first time. Let them go through a couple times. I want you guys to get at least 3 run-throughs each saying this. If you get a chance to do it more than 3, do it more. Like I said, you want to say it 10 times. All right. But then I'll say, all right, now you're going to do it and you're going to get graded. And we're going to grade people. And some of the guys who are on here, I'm going to be grading you guys here. Some of you are going to have to call to get your grade on this. So I'll have different people go to make sure you're getting comfortable. If you just don't know, you can say, hey, I don't know it, but I can grade you, by this Friday or whatever, and we can schedule a time so I can grade you. But you want to make sure, I know some of you guys haven't been involved with an office. Some of you guys have been, but we want to make sure you guys are all set up for success. Cool? So everybody grab a partner. If you are on your own, I'm going to pull this back up on the screen so you guys have this. All right. So let me share this again, just in case for any reason your email didn't go through. I want to make sure that you guys have this. All right. So let me share this here. So yeah, stand up. I want to hear some noise. I'm going to unmute everybody so I can hear you.
Oh God. Good morning. How's it going?
Hey, good morning.
Might be looking for some part-time work.
Do you happen to know? Do you happen to know anyone that might be looking for part-time work this fall?
Job is an entry customer service position.
Do you happen to know anyone that might be looking for any part-time work?
Job is an entry-level customer.
Oh, Java is an entry-level customer service position. National college student work program designed to develop international
college student work program designed to keep
presentation skills, time management, organization, and networking.
Hey, good morning. Do you happen to know anyone that might be looking
offer
for part-time work this fall?
Looking for work or someone you can
Information, and even has a place for you to apply online. So the job also might know. Are you looking for the work, or if someone else you know?
Actually, what's your schedule like?
Great. Phone number? Just text you the link real quick.
National college.
And how do you spell your name?
Job is an entry-level customer sales service position. Our national college student work
Looking
program
for
is designed to
part-time work this fall.
Java
Java is an entry-level customer service
organization networking, among other things.
Work program and interpersonal skills, presentation skills,
college credits,
organization networking,
practical job experience,
that has more information.
or know somebody else who did.
Schedules are really flexible. We offer over
Their
$100
representatives work
annually.
customers one-on-one
Credits.
face-to-face. They show our products, answer questions, and help them place
With more
tasks.
information,
It's any door-to-door marketing.
or for anyone else you might know.
All appointments,
Were you looking for work, or know someone else who is?
computer,
Great. What's your cell?
totally up to them.
Okay, great.
Text that to you real quick.
Feel
And how do you spell your name again?
with customers one-on-one.
My name is JD. I put that in the text.
And if it's for your friend, just pass that along.
Awesome.
And anyone else who might be interested in
It's got the link has more information and even
Any board.
Do you happen to know anyone that might be looking for part-time work this fall?
you know someone else who is.
Awesome. Well, it's an entry-level customer service
I can text you.
position. National
really
student
quick.
work
And how do you spell
program.
your name? My name is Haley.
Interpersonal
Good
skills
morning.
presentation. Offers over 100 scholarships and
Know anyone?
college credits.
Is
I actually have a link that I can send you with more information.
Bob is an
Which
English
you can
schedule.
apply.
job is an
The reason I
entry-level
ask is I'm
Do you
scared
work
that
anywhere currently?
this job is
Because they're
entry
Are
asking
you
about
looking for work or no one else is? All right, great.
set you up for
So,
interviews
I can do now. Set to you real quick, and then how do you spell your name?
details if you want to answer any
JD.
questions.
I'll put that in the
The
text.
reason that I ask is I'm
super flexible.
applications later today and I have more time to set
Cool. You open
the
for some
details if you have
part-time?
any
What's your
questions
schedule today and tomorrow?
later
Do you
today.
work anywhere
So this
currently?
job college students all over
Okay, so the reason I ask is that my
the
manager is conducting
program.
interviews to fill
I
tonight
did
to get you up
personal questions
with them to sit and go over the details with you and answer any questions you may have. All right, how's 3 o'clock work? Give me credits, and I'll send you the address and details for you.
All right, bet.
Forward to seeing you later.
I think I got this. All right, ready. So, hey, good afternoon. Do you happen to know anyone that might be possibly looking for a part-time job this fall or over the holidays? Cool. So the job's an entry-level customer sales position, and we're a national college student work program designed to develop interpersonal skills, presentation skills, time management, organization, networking, among other things. The schedules are super flexible. We offer 100 scholarships annually, and students can even earn college credits. So the job
We're a
attracts a
national
lot of
college
students,
student
but we
work
do
program
work.
designed to develop skills,
I
presentation
actually have a
skills,
link
time
that has
management,
more information and even has a place for you to apply or
and
anyone
many
you know
other
that might
things.
be interested.
Schedules are
So
super
since
super
you're
flexible.
looking
We offer
for a
100
job,
scholarships annually, and
what's your
students
cell? I can text it to you real quick.
the job attracts a lot of students.
How do you spell your name?
Students to answer any questions you have. Basically, our
Great.
representatives
And
work with
my name
customers
again is
one-to-one.
Austin. I put it in the
Our
text.
products answer questions and
Work currently? Awesome.
Actually,
Job
what's your
is an
schedule?
entry-level customer
The reason I
sales
asked is that my
position.
manager's conducting
College
interviews
student
for
Anywhere
work program
currently?
designed
Or
to
FaceTime. It's totally up to them.
Job list? All right,
You
cool.
feel pretty comfortable
So
working
yeah,
with
the reason I
customers
ask
one-on-one.
is that
I'm
I'm pretty real
schedules
We have a
are
link that has more
for
information and
part-time
even has
annually.
details.
Students would even get college
Email,
credits.
Answer any questions you have.
So the job
were
Can
you
we meet
looking
later
for work?
today?
would do.
All right, Angela, do it to me while they all keep going.
Okay. So I can't look at the thing, obviously.
You can go for it. Let's hear you say it.
Okay. Good morning. How are you doing?
Doing awesome.
Great. Do you know anyone that might be looking for a part-time job this fall?
Maybe. What is it?
Well, basically, it's entry level of customer sales position. We're sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. We are a student program.
You're done. I'm stopping you. Keep practicing to yourself.
Okay.
Let's go. All right. Let's see.
Customer sales position. We're a national.
There's some weird background. All right, so Mason can't talk. Let's see who we have here. Who's been on campus? Jay, do it for me, Jay.
Sweet. Hey, how's it going this afternoon?
I'm
Do
doing
you?
well.
Oh, okay, cool. Do you happen to know anyone that might be looking for some part-time work this fall?
Okay. Yeah, maybe. What is it?
The job is an entry-level sales and service position. We're a national college student work program designed to develop interpersonal skills, presentation skills, time management, organization, and networking, along with other things. Schedules are super flexible. We offer 100 scholarships annually, and students can even earn college credits. So the job attracts a lot of
conversation with me. You've been talking to people. Have a conversation, and I want to see how you're doing it on campus right now.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. So start over, or like,
yeah.
Start where I was?
By the way, hold on a second. To everybody, I want to make sure you guys are ready.
All right, just up to the fourth floor. Let me know the first floor.
Parking. Parking.
Keep practicing. Keep practicing it. So Jay, yeah, however you do it.
All right. Hey, good afternoon. How's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
Cool. I'm doing good. Thank you.
By the way, I want to say this to everybody. I wouldn't be like, hey, how are you doing? Like, I just wouldn't start like that. So I talked about this before when we went through it. Just walk up and you're just like, hey, or good afternoon. Like, don't ask, how are you doing? You're not like engaging. You can talk about that after they keep talking, but just like, oh, hey, good afternoon. Like, you're just like passing out. You're like, hey, does this happen to know anyone who might be looking for part-time work? So it's not a, hey, how are you? Da-da-da. Like, they don't even know who you are. So you're just walking by and you're just like, oh, hey, do you happen to know anyone who might be looking for part-time work? And they're like, oh, yeah. And they'll ask you, they go, no. You're like, all right, have a great day. And you just keep walking. You keep going. All right? So go ahead.
All right. So do you know anyone who might be looking for part-time work?
Maybe. What is it?
Cool. The job is an entry-level sales and service position. We are a national college student work program designed to develop interpersonal skills, presentation skills, time management, organization, and networking skills, among other things. Students can earn up to 100 scholarships every year and can even earn college credits throughout the job as well. So it's a great thing that attracts a lot of students, but also we work with non-students as well.
Okay.
Wow.
Hey, I actually have a link right here I can send over.
There we go. Yeah, that's usually what I do. I'd say I actually have a link if it's something you'd be interested in. Can I go ahead and get your name and number so I can go ahead and send this to you for you or your friend? And
so here's what I would say. I would never say to somebody if that's something you'd be interested in because they don't know what they're interested in yet. It's more if you want to check it out. Hey, I have a link if you want to check it out, or hey, if you want to learn more, because they'll say I'm not interested, but they don't even know about it. So instead of saying that as your language, say I have a link if you want to learn more about it. That way you can check it out. So that's what I would switch your language to. Okay. Cool. So solid. Let's see who else. By the way, in about 5 minutes, Damien is able, actually he's on now. Damien, you on? Where you is?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So this is a random interruption blessing. We're so excited. We were talking about this earlier, and Damon happened to have time now. And since we have 54 of you guys on right now, I thought, what a better time if he could do it to be able to go through. So we are drilling you guys right now for a little. It's one of those like when you're like, I don't know, watching TV and there's a storm and it's like, oh, interrupt. This is a good interrupt. Alert, those Amber alerts I get on my phone. But we've got a Damien alert, and you guys want to have pen and paper real quick because he has about 15, 20 minutes he's given us, and then he's got to jump to something at 8, and we'll keep going, drilling you guys. So Hunter, everybody, if we can stop everybody from role play. Many of you guys know they've been crushing it. I think last week had 32 in the first day of training. They absolutely crush it on campus, crush it with recruiting. And they recruit a lot of non-local people, and so they absolutely crush it with a new business, a virtual demo program. Some of you guys have heard Damien speak in the past. A couple of you guys got a chance to hear him at CFC, but I know with the storm, many of us we weren't able to get everybody there. So I do want you guys to have pen and paper, and then if he has time for a couple questions at the end, I definitely want to give him that time. So Damien, I'm gonna give the floor to you. I know we're short on time, but thank you so much. And if you can give some of the stats of things that have been happening over there, I know you guys kick ass. I don't have concrete stats to share, but you can share those with us.
So last week, we launched our first Texas State class. We went on campus and took 200 applications in one job fair. And we had about, I think we had 50 people scheduled for training from that job fair. So I want you to be able to hear that 1 out of 4 people from that job fair that stopped by our table and filled out an application, not just came to an interview, but was scheduled for training. We had 32 people in day 1, and then day 2, we launched out, I want to say 26. We launched 1 more today, and in their first 48 hours, as of this morning, they were at $15,000 in sales, and that was 100% virtual demo. I didn't give out blue books. They didn't even know they were getting sample kits till like the second day. It was just kind of like a surprise. And it's why the fall is the best time of the year, because we have the greatest program for college students ever. The fact that they can make, I have a representative already at $3,000. She made $400 sitting on her dorm room couch in 3 days. And I'm just so grateful for the virtual demo program, because it's why we now are able to have such an incredible fall. And for those of you that are going to be district managers next year, President's Banquet has never been easier to win. It's the thing that I was most excited about, getting a chance to get flown out to Vegas with all the managers. And now it's such a piece of cake, plus double monthly bonus. I mean, the whole entire thing, even if you didn't hit the company trip, hitting Munich, 50 grand. I mean, that should be done in the first month when it comes to colleges. It's so much easier to work with college students because they're all in one place, and the only thing they want is an easy job that's flexible, and they don't have to leave campus. That's the biggest the biggest question I hear at campus is like, do I have to go off campus? And I'm like, no, you have to come to training one time. You got to come to a team meeting one time, and the rest, you just work from home. It's the dream job for a college student. And I just am so excited. I've been talking about it for now weeks, and as college students are coming in, part of their success is my excitement in the program, because inherently, if you're a CUTCO representative, you might be thinking, how is it possible that somebody could be as excited about seeing a demo for CUTCO online when you can't hold the product or see the product or feel it or cut the penny and, shake the hand and kiss the babies, versus just being done online? And so as the manager, a lot of that excitement comes from you. And just the absolute belief that college students are one of the most easily taken advantage of groups of employees, because there's no jobs available for them. I mean, in my territory, there's like a mall, there's like the bars in the area, and then there's like Amazon that basically hires them to work in a sweatshop for 10 hours a day. And it's a it will kill their resume unless you're going to like UT or, an incredible university where literally, just because daddy is paying for it, you'll be able to graduate and get a job at, maybe some company. Students are really having to fend for themselves, and your GPA is not going to mean shit, excuse my language, when you're interviewing against somebody who just unfortunately has a better, has the university of choice in that town, because employers are having hundreds of thousands of students apply from all over the nation. So it's our job as managers to give our students that are smart. I mean, first time generation, going to college, having to pay for it by themselves, give them a fighting chance out there in the real world once they graduate college by having the most awesome experience on their resume on paper, which makes it look amazing. But in the reality, it's the easiest job ever as long as you provide that platform. So that's just my personal vision and my personal belief in this program. And it's why my business has had so much success in the non-summer. And it's just such a lot of fun, because college students are awesome. They're smart. They don't have helicopter parents. They're outgoing, and they just have so much more confidence when you engage them in the right business. So hopefully I don't have to sell you too much. I do want to talk a little bit about the program itself and how to have best success. Number one is you have to do it. If you're a manager candidate, you're going to be recruiting other people, you do it first. Do as I do, not just as I say. And, to best prepare your students for the virtual demo program, because of the fact that it's less physically engaging, you have to prepare your students to be more verbally engaging. So I'm going to send you guys a document here once we're done with the call. That's my virtual demo mastery document, which basically has a list of almost 20 different questions that you'll ask throughout the demo to engage the customer additionally into the appointment. There's 4 or 5 questions you ask at the beginning of the demo. There's a question you ask after every single piece of CUTCO. That way the customer is really, really tied in through the purchasing process. And it helps it be more of a fun demo. 2 biggest questions and issues I continuously get from other managers on the virtual demo is, when we're on the demo, it works. However, I'm having a hard time with avoiding cancellations. I'm having a hard time getting referrals. And then we're having a hard time a little bit with sales and no sales. So I'm going to deal with those three things real quick. First of all, avoiding cancellations, I think, is half of the battle. So first of all, when it comes to cancellations, you really have to help your representatives out. So yes, you want them to send an email the day they book the demo. You want them to send a text message the morning of the demo, but that within itself, I don't think is enough. As far as the email is concerned, what you want to do is you want to help your representatives create an About Me page right in the first or second day of training before they leave. You can do it in just a matter of 2 or 3 minutes when you do the day 2 PC. Literally, as they're talking to you, you could bust open a PowerPoint slide. You can screenshot. You can like literally take a picture of them with your phone, them holding up a CUTCO book and a scholarship brochure, and you can just literally take that picture, throw it on a PowerPoint slide, copy basically the same exact about, why I'm working here, pay for college, not be a financial burden, set myself apart from my peers, and I'm going for a $10,000 fast start. I mean, all that stuff can be changed in a matter of seconds. And then you take that PowerPoint, you screenshot it, and you just email it to them. That could all be done by the time you're done with your day 2 PC or in a regular PC if the person hasn't even gotten started yet. And you got to make sure they send that goals page to every single one of their customers in the confirmation email. And then if you want to go for extra credit, have them send that alongside the text message the morning of. The more the customer can see that this rep is, going after their goals, that they're really ambitious, a college student that wants to do more than just their average peers, they're less likely to cancel on the demo. I think also the second deal is the asking of referrals. I'll be honest that I don't use the referral approach in the manual. I don't like saying that too much, but I did consult with Riley Lookenbill, who's a rep out of the Lubbock office that sold over $90,000 of CUTCO in a virtual demo and just had a $25,000 SC2 push on 100% virtual demos. And we were struggling with referrals, and he's like, here, let me give you the approach that we use. So I'll send it over to Kathy as well, but it's just a little bit more, it's more personal, it's more low key. I think it works better, so I'll send it over to you guys. The biggest objection you'll hear from your customers on virtual demos is I'll do it later. And it's a simple, you just have to be honest with your customers and say, hey, I really appreciate that. And, I know you have great intentions. However, last week, somebody told me they were going to email me the rest of them, and they never got back to me. And I just didn't have enough appointments last week in order to hit my goal. So I just wanted to see if there was at least 2 or 3 people that you could help me out with right now. And you can get me the other 500 people later. And getting them to give you some virtual demos right there on the recommendations on the spot is really key. I also forward, the text message you're supposed to send to your customers on the demo. I actually forward that to all of my sales reps because I just don't think they're going to do it on their own. So I forward to them that during training, so that way they're confident. And I just remind them. I put a reminder from WebPDI every single day. Hey, did you send your customers the reminder, the heads up text message to send to their friends? Hey, did you send your customers a reminder text message in the morning? Hey, do you send your customers a reminder email? Yeah, I don't care if they get that same exact message every day for their entire first 10 days. They are going to do it. If they're like, oh, I already got it, be like, great, you have to do it some more. And then last but not least is the drop down process. That's the other thing. We have a lot of representatives that will, before I started taking the attention to detail, they were having issues with having a lot of no sales people telling them they're going to get back to them and things like that. And so my biggest thing with that is just you have to role play dropping down with the representative several times. Today, I had about 4 or 5 different representatives that came to my office that are all doing virtual demos in the office, which I love, by the way. I love the environment of 5, 6 different reps in the office almost, the entire time I'm in my office doing virtual demos, and it adds an amazing amount of culture. It's just more fun anyways. I noticed that there was a couple of people. I'm like, hey, everybody, let's go into the office. I'm gonna role play the dropping down process. And at the end of it, they're like, wow, you don't add anything. You just go through all of it word for word. I'm like, I know. You don't have to fluff up this whole entire thing. You just have to teach them that they need to be confident in dropping down all the way. And we do have a lot of spatula sweaters sold, a lot of trimmers sold. But if you get 10 spatula sweaters sold, that's $500, $600 of CPO. which leads to subsequent appointments. The other thing that we do a lot of is social media marketing. We encourage our representatives to, after each demo, send a friend request to their customer and then post directly on their Facebook page a very, very, very strong, love-filled gratitude message where they say something on the lines of, hey, I just wanted to take the time to say thank you to the world's greatest Aunt Susie. She took the time out of her schedule to help me with my scholarship program by seeing my CUTCO virtual demo online. I know it only took 30 minutes, but it really means the world to me because this is how I'm paying for school. I can't wait to meet some of your friends, and I hope you love CUTCO. By the way, who cares if they even bought anything? I hope you love CUTCO. We all hope you love CUTCO too. So those posts that we post directly on the Facebook page of these moms and aunts is getting like literally moths to a flame, other people coming to them. And people start posting, oh, I have CUTCO, or, I used to sell CUTCO, or man, those shears are amazing. And we're then sending those representatives out to message all of those people that are either commenting or liking on all of their pages. And it's creating a tremendous amount more sales every single day. So our representatives love it because they love marketing on Facebook. They like the idea. They think it's innovative. They love the idea of working from home, and it just creates such a fun environment of wanting to do the job. And then when they sell, it's even more amazing because they're like, I cannot believe I just made $30 sitting on my couch, sitting in the office with no travel, no expenditures, and literally they just read a manual and they talk on the phone. And these reps are just in love with this job. So that's why I love the program. I think those are some things to keep in mind. But all you have to do is get started. Realize there's no way to make a mistake with a virtual demo. The only mistake is to not actually do virtual demos. That's the biggest thing. You're going to rob these students of this awesome opportunity. Anyway, that's everything I want to talk about. I'm going to give you guys a minute here. If you have any Q&A, anything that you wanted to talk, you want to ask, I'd be more than happy to answer.
You're muting yourself.
Damien.
What's up, dude?
Kennemore here. Missed you, brother. Missed your call last night, but we'll catch up.
All good, buddy.
Quick question. Does this heavy virtual focus, does it change anything verbiage-wise when you're recruiting people from the interview, from train, or like for these guys doing face-to-face, like in-hand penciling and stuff like that? Does it do any short 5-second tweaks to anything you say on campus? Because obviously you're great with a virtual program, but part of what's going on in your office is you have so many kids you're recruiting because it's just such a streamlined process.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I absolutely change what I say. And I don't know what you guys are going to think about that, but when I'm on campus, what I say, and when I'm on the interview and the pre-screen, I say that we are the online marketing division for CUTCO. Our representatives, and I say that and I boast it as, we're the only office in the nation that actually does this exclusively. And you can say the same thing if you want to, who cares? Because they don't know the difference. But yeah, we're the online marketing division for CUTCO. And we have an incredible program that we have built just for Texas State University, or whatever the school that you're in, where students can actually do all of their appointments on an online virtual demo. And the biggest perk is the flexibility. Because they can access the appointment online, they can work either from our office, which is, for us about a 10-minute drive from your campus, but they can also work from home. So for students, maybe if you have a morning class that ends at 11 and an evening class that ends at 5, it would be impossible for you to get a job for like 2 hours at the mall, but you could do 3, 4, 5 virtual demos in the middle of it, and at a $17 base pay, rack up $85 before your evening class and really feel excited to be able to go out later that night. So that's a big part of my on-campus script. And I'm sure by just like hearing that, like how just incredibly sexy and attractive that sounds for any college student. In the interview, I continuously say, you know, as far as our sales program, we do our demos under one of two platforms, either one-on-one in person, which looks a lot like what you're seeing right now. And it's obviously a blast to be able to cut food in front of a customer with this kind of product. But we also do it on an online virtual demo. You guys ever used Prezi before? And everyone's like, yeah, we use Prezi. Yeah, I mean, it's really, really simple because we work with soccer moms and we tried like complex video interfacing, didn't really work too well. But when this program came out and all they have to do is just click a button over and over again, moms love it. And they just much rather shop from home, online, not have to put shoes on. And the fact it can also help a college student is just a total win-win situation because they're going to buy CUTCO anyways, but they'd rather just buy it from our college students because it's such a win-win, and it really supports their ability to pay for school on their own. So that's a little bit of again, of my interview. Again, it's under one of two platforms, and I make the in-home, it's like, oh yeah, it's really fun. I mean, it's just like what you're seeing right now, but the online virtual demo, I just kind of, you know, create this, like the ideify it as like the greatest thing that ever happened to our company, to the customers, and to the sales reps.
Thanks a lot. That was awesome. I'm hooked. Sign me up.
Okay. So since you emphasize on your virtual demonstrations, you said you use Prezi, which is bit.ly.com, CUTCO demo?
Yeah.
Is that the you use? Okay.
Yeah, it should be written on the, I mean, I don't know what training manual you guys use, but it's written on the front of our training manual in my office on the bottom right-hand corner. It says bit.ly.com/CUTCO demo.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Is the viewcutco.com demo different from the bit.ly?
I don't know what viewcutco.com is, so I can't really answer to it.
Yes, they're a little bit different. The bit.ly is the most up-to-date one.
Yeah, they just even put in a video for the Fisherman Solution, which I was pumped about. You know, if I'm, you know, talking to you guys, you know, I want to be also a little sensitive to your situation, but you guys need to be conscientious of the situation obviously in front of you, and obviously I don't have to tell you this. However, I think it's incredibly important that when you're asking right now for referrals, that you absolutely feel totally confident explaining how your business works, that, you know, while you definitely get paid for every demo, the way that you win scholarships with our company is by the sales of our product. And we're going to, you know, reserve the most amazing kick butt deals, you know, for some of the people that have been affected that maybe right now their spending of money on cutlery isn't their number one priority. However, if you can give me recommendations of 5 people, 7, 10 people who are out of the area, I'm going to hook you up with CUTCO Fat. You know, buy vegetable peelers and hook them up with that if they can give you out of town referrals, and tell them that, hey, as you know, as soon as you're ready, I'm going to give you the world's greatest discount for being the person that hooked me up and help me continue to help pay for college, you know, in spite of, you know, of what's happened. Because, you know, you need to be successful because of what's happening, not fail because of what's happening. You got to use what's happening as the fuel to your desire. You know, I remember hearing, and Kathy, you probably remember the story of Joe Gianelli when 9/11 happened, and his office that week was the #1 office in the nation the week of 9/11. And for those of you that remember that tragedy too, and you know, there's always a reason and always an excuse to fail, and you could just turn that reason right around and make that the reason why you're gonna succeed, because it's gonna make such a better story in the long run.
Mm-hmm. So huge. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, and I don't know if you know New Orleans, when they got hit with Katrina, that next year was their biggest year ever. And so as people were all restoring everything. So yeah, we're excited to make some moves over in GCK. So I really appreciate you taking time out. I know you have something right now. So thank you for coming last minute, giving us some goods. Anybody else who has questions, you guys can shoot them my way, and I'll send Damien an email with anything else specific to what they've been doing, because they absolutely crushed this. I'm pretty good at virtual demos, but he has proven campaign after campaign these past 2 years. They absolutely dominate this. So thank you again so much, Damien. I appreciate it.
All right, much love, guys. Have fun and work hard. Later.
All right, see ya. All right, awesome. So I want to transition. I just realized, I'm like, it's already 8:04. I know, like, I had wanted to, him and I had spoken back and forth, and we hadn't locked down a time. So he was like, I can come now. I was like, okay, fine. Like, I'm in the middle of prep, but I want to walk you guys through, if everyone can be ready, I want to walk you guys through just the stuff that we're going to be focusing on this next month. So one, and I just looked at my stuff, you guys are getting graded this week. But we're going to be doing the spot checks. I have it actually, if you look at the agenda for next month on October 10th, to spot check on the lessons from this month. So right now, face-to-face, when are you really comfortable? Like, hey, do you guys know anyone looking for part-time work? All right, cool. You know, give them the goods. And it's like, hey, put your name and number here, or I'll take your number. Or you're working at a table. You're working at a table, super easy. They're filling out applications. They're putting their name down for more information. You can talk to your manager about specifically how that's happening, but just feeling really comfortable explaining it. So that's really important. The second thing and lesson that we were talking about right now, and I'll get the stuff that he talked about, that Damien talked about, I'll get, let me actually text him right now so he doesn't forget to email me any documents. Please. All right, and then I'll get those out to you guys, whatever he sends me. So in terms of lessons that we need to go over. So one, face-to-face. I want to make sure you guys are super comfortable. Cool? That's part of recruiting. Two, PRs, and we're going to go over the PR program. Third is how to skills check. And I want to have a interactive, and again, I need someone who's ready to mute so that whatever office can talk, because there's too much background noise when it's all unmuted. So you just need to unmute as we go through how to skills check. I want to review that with everybody. And then I want you to watch the video so you can give me specifically what were Nemo's, what was his area of opportunity, what did we look for there when we did his recs. So specific to that skills check, because I want you guys to watch that. But I want to review that together. And then PC number one. So let me put here so you guys can see the screen on PC number one. So you guys should have this in your email, but I just pulled this up. So PC number one is something that you guys want to make sure you get done. As we have representatives starting, this week we have training, we have people who just started, and we're working really hard to go out to campus, meet people, taking all these applications. A College Station put out 11,000 flyers the other day, put out more. Today we're going out and getting work done, and we're getting people in. One, we want to make sure that when they're coming in, they're having a great experience. So there's a video that I sent in the email on how to second man. Are you guys connecting with people? Are you guys second manning properly? When they come to training, there's so much that you can do. And when you guys have assistant managers in the future, teaching them they're not just there to like give high fives and what's up. Like, they can do that, but the best assistant managers elevate the performance of the organization, because people listen more, because you're someone who's like, you're not the boss, you're just like, almost like a friend who's like, oh dude, you should listen to this. And they're like, yeah, okay, cool. And so they'll listen more to you than to the trainer, because they're like, well, yeah, they get paid from me, or like, they're my boss, so they're going to tell me to do stuff. But when they hear it from someone else, that's like in their peer group, and they see themselves more in their peer group, or someone that they're closer to in rank, and they're like, oh, I could be like that, I could be an assistant manager too. They listen more. So we want to, in training, are we, impacting training and having the right conversations when they walk in, when they're role playing? Are we clearing up their first weekend? So this is really important. And again, it's a 30-minute, listen to it while you drive. You probably want to listen to it later, and take a couple notes, but just so you can listen to the power of what you can do when you're second manning, and how that can impact and influence your organization. If you get great at that, you're going to have more people launch out from each training class. You're going to have more people want to go big for their fast start. It's a win for them because they're earning more money quickly. It's a win for you because you are seeing them succeed. You're also, many of you, getting paid off what's happening in that organization, and they stick around longer, because usually when they make a nice check in the beginning, they're like, oh, this is legit, and they stick around longer, versus other people are like, oh, I didn't make any money doing this, right? But with all the work we're putting into recruiting, with all the work that we're getting in the door, now what's important is keeping them around, right? We want to keep them around. We want to make sure they succeed. So this PC number one, guys, is one of the most important things once you've launched a sales representative out, that you get to do in their first week. So normally it's on day 4, like the Monday or Tuesday right after their training. So training ends on Friday or Saturday, and they're meeting with you Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday at latest, whatever it is. So as you guys are going through here, this is really important. It says the PC serves to address the most important factor of reps' first business. So their names list, like they need people to call, right? You guys have gone through this. Some of you guys need to do this to each other and go through and brainstorm, because there's always people that you can, there's always people that you guys can still see. And I know even for myself, when I looked at, people that I never saw, people that I never got a hold of, there are more people. So this is your process here. So if we can go through, so Lindsay, read out loud, step 1, you're unmuted.
I don't know.
It's on the screen.
There's on the screen. It's your face.
Is it? You guys can't see the paper?
I mean, I see your face.
I can see it.
We can see it. Taylor, go.
All right. Step 1, go through reps' initial names, cross off if they've seen, count how many they have left to call, and prioritize them.
All right, so you guys want to actually look at their manual and see who they've already seen, because sometimes you guys are going to see this all the time. They have a list of like 70-something names, 150 names, and like, yeah, I have no one to call. And you're like, you've done 4 demos. Maybe they called them, but they didn't pick up, or they had to reschedule. So who have they actually seen and who have they not seen? So there's going to be a list of people they needed to call back. There's going to be people that they needed to reschedule, and then there's people they just never got a hold of. So you want to see where they're at with that. Cool. Then the next thing is you want to check their recommendations. So John Bose, read step 2.
Hold on, buddy. Hold on. Okay. Go through the recommendation sheet. Explain the principles that a customer gives what they see. If they see several lists of 3, they will give 3 because they think that's normal. Set up rec binder for success. Have them transfer family friends from their manual onto a sheet to create a triple sponsor or higher. Show the rep how to compile their small lists into bigger lists to give their higher expectancy to customers. Now customers should be seeing completely filled out sheets.
I like your glasses, by the way. All right, so let's look at this real quick. So what he just went through. So you want to look at their rec sheets, okay? Some people, if you set them up the right way, they're going to do a really great job with this, but most people don't. So whether, again, you're doing a recommendation notebook, I switched to the binder, 2008, I believe I switched to the binder, so about halfway into my business. And I love it. It works both ways. I like that I can put the sheets in the order I want them. I like that I can show all the full sheets first. I like it. I like handing them 2 sheets, so there's bigger expectancy. But obviously with a notebook, you can say, hey, there's more sheets. So there's still a way to get it all done. It's what you're most comfortable and confident. But I do love the rec binder. It has 30 good spaces, highlight 10, 20, 30. So you want to show them, like when they see full papers, when they see 30 plus, and even if it's in a notebook, like they think, oh, okay, people just fill out a page, right? So the person gets that extra. So you've got to set up your rec binder so that's what they see first is full pages, okay? So anyone that was in their training manual that they wrote down in training for initial practice appointments, have them transfer them all over to a sheet. Now this is really important. You're a branch manager, right? And you tell somebody this and you go, oh, Eric, just make one up, write whatever names, just kind of lie. Like you're telling them like, just lie, just put whatever, and how you say it is really important. Because I know you're not telling a lie, but when you tell someone, hey, just bullshit and lie, that makes them question you. Does that make sense? They're like, my manager's telling me to like bullshit and lie, versus, hey, let's take the names from your list and let's transfer them onto a paper so they can see full sheets. Cool? And if you want to combo any other one, so you just have stuff to point to, it's always good to have stuff to point to. So instead of having all those names in your actual manual, we're going to put them on rec sheets, put your parents' name up top, because I'm sure that most of them are family friends or whoever knows them. And that way you have something to point to. Like, all right, cool. So that's really important. And by the way, I learned this the wrong way. I remember in 2004, I was telling a rep like, oh yeah, just make this up, so you have it to point. He's like, oh, you're telling me that? He's like, that really makes me question, like, what else do you lie about? And I was like, what? And it totally caught me off guard. And I was younger, newer manager. I didn't really think about that. I'm like, what? And I was just trying to help him set up his stuff. And I was like, man, I need to be careful how I say things because it can make them question me and my trainer. That's not what I want to do at all. So just transfer their names from their manual over so we can have something, because the fact is people do what everyone else has done. And so just having something to point to as like, hey, Ms. Jones, when you fill out a full sheet like this, so just pointing to a full sheet, you would sign 3 times. You get to 20, you sign twice. And even if you only get to 10, you still sign once. So have them transfer friends and family from their manual over. and tell them like, hey, if you want to combine any other ones, just so you have some more to point to, that way you have that, all right? Versus like make one up. Instead, you're saying, hey, if you want to combine any, just so you have more to point to with bigger names. I said, people just do what they see. Cool. So just setting an expectancy for customers, and you'll see you'll get more people. Then guys, step 3 is your next step. So David, go ahead and read that. Mr. Wynn.
Are we unmuted?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, go. Correct their recommendations approach before they do another demo. Check their customer sponsorship, signatures, and role play the recommendations approach thoroughly until they really have it down. Make sure they understand that every customer always gives at least 10 names and becomes the rep sponsor. Reinforce the basic program and make sure they get their signatures.
By the way, if you guys need to, make a note. There's the rocking recommendations. I have a talk on my YouTube. Have them watch that. And if you haven't watched it, I would watch it again just to get really good. If you guys master, it's the number one thing reps need to master first is rocking recommendations. If they rock recommendations, they're going to be here for a long time. So you guys want to own being masters of this so you can help all your people be amazing at this, okay? So you need to be like, hey, ask me for X. Show me how you ask for X, exactly how you were the customer. Let me see it real quick. And watch them do it. And then do it back to them, all right? So that's why this is important. You have your stuff mastered so you can go, oh yeah, so I get paid every time I show CUTCO. I can only show people I've been personally recommended to. So what I need you to do while I'm cleaning up is to jot down 200 to 300 people who might be nice enough to help me out. And I'm not looking for anyone you think would buy, just anyone super nice like you to take a look, cool? So you go through there. And so making sure that you guys can do it right back to them. So 2 things, jot this down that they need to know. 1 is those 3 bullets. I get paid every time I show CUTCO, so what I need you to do, I'm not looking for anyone you think would buy. So those 3 bullets, they've got to have those down word for word. I don't care how they lead in, I don't care how they lead out, but they need to have those 3 bullets. The second thing is they need to be able to explain the sponsorship properly. The sponsorship we do in GCK, it's $150 merchandise award that they get when they have 50 sponsors, okay, in a campaign. So every campaign, it restarts unless your manager says otherwise. We restart every campaign. So they get 50 sponsors in the campaign, they get a $150 award. All right, some of my guys got 2 of those filled out this summer, which was pretty awesome. So make sure they do it for you. Make sure they have it filled out. You know, are they getting signatures? So watch my talk on Rocking Rec so you have that. Then guys, step 4, it's cell phone dump. All right, so in terms of step 4, go ahead and read that, Noah. You're unmuted.
Everyone in their phone fits into 3 of these groups, know well, know of, and don't know. Our objective is to come up with at least 30 new names the rep never thought about. They will need to get numbers for these people, but they have a renewed spirit with so many more people now to call.
Cool. So this right here, and if you guys, I should have sent it, so you guys had it. You can just do it on a random piece of paper. So I've done this a bunch of times where I just literally grab a blank paper. This year we made a cell phone dump sheet. It doesn't matter. I just took a blank paper and I was like, all right. And on the paper, I would literally just put know well, know of, don't know at all. And I said, so this is the person over 30. So your friend's parents, some of your friends' parents, you know them really, really well. Some of them, you know of them, they know of you. Some of them, you've never met before because you met this person at a party or you met them at school and did a school project, and that's why their number's in your phone, right? So some of them, you don't know at all. So you go through, and so each person, where does this person go? You know well, know of, so whoever is over 30, that person's parent, or if that person's the one over 30, they go into one of those 3 categories. Cool? Then it's super easy. Step 1, what are they doing with, or group 1? That's their initial approach. And many times there's people that they forgot about or hadn't reached. And so that's just like, hey, I started a new job, part of my training, I'm to do some training appointments, and they just do their regular approach. Or if they want to use the acquaintance approach, they could use that too. I use the acquaintance approach for most of mine, where I was just like, hey, it's Kat. I'm like, you know, and if it was someone far, I'm like, hey, I know it's been a while. I played volleyball with Ronnie. They're like, oh my God. I'm like, how are you? And they're like, oh my gosh, how are you doing this for all time? We're chatting. I'm like, well, hey, the reason I was calling So if you could help me out with something. And then I dive into the acquaintance approach. And that's what I used for most of mine. So they have a big chunk of those people that they know of or knew of them that maybe it's just been a while. And so showing them how to contact those people, how to collect phone numbers from friends, whitepages.com, reaching out to people via social media. In the manual, it shows you how to collect more numbers, but just so they have names of numbers to collect. Cool. And then the third group, the ones that you don't know the parents at all, those people, guys, we can send a separate message, and it's kind of like asking for recommendation. And so you talk to the friend, it's like, hey, I get paid to show the products, so I just want to see if your parents might be willing to help me out, you know? And then that way you can just call them and you're just like, hey, and you go through your approach. You can do your scholarship approach, or you can do the acquaintance approach. But we're just putting the 3 groups and showing them how to contact them. All right. So that's really big. And then step 5, you're just reviewing again with them how to ask for friends' parents' numbers, which is on page 31. Maybe they do a couple there so you can give them feedback. All right. Now, bonus if there's time, I always like to watch them do the close real quick. We're not going to go in heavy into drop down or anything, but it's just, hey, close me real quick. I just want to see how you go through prices. So pretend you just show me the knives. All right, and just ask me and just close me real quick. And guys, I would write that down. When you ask someone to do it for you, ask them, hey, close me exactly how you would a customer. Basically, you're just gonna go into prices. Okay, so you just told me all about what comes in the homemaker set. You showed me all the knives. And now I wanna see, how do you transition from showing the knives to talking about the prices? I wanna see how you transition. My favorite answer is when someone goes, well, I mean, can I just use my manual? And I'm like, yeah, perfect. So see how they transition, see how they go through the close, all right? So if you guys look here, I have here the actual verbiage, all right? I typed it out so you guys can see here what to say. Angela, you can read it out loud where it says real quick.
I'm sorry, where?
Right after bonus, if time, where it says real quick. Okay. I'd love to.
Real quick, I'd love to see you close to give you some quick feedback. Basically, once you finish showing the knives, I want to see how they transition to showing the prices and asking for the sale. Do exactly how you would do it with the customer so that I can give you the most helpful feedback. I want you to be great.
All right. And so this is really important. And I always tell them, like, what I don't want is that at the end you go, oh, well, when I'm with a customer, I usually do this. Or when I'm with a customer, I say this. So I tell them that. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. I want to be able to give you feedback as best as possible. So the closer you do it to how you do it with a customer, the more I can help you out. And they're like, all right, cool. All right. So is everyone good there? Any questions on PC number 1? Unmute yourself and ask. Any questions on PC number 1?
Kathy, did you send us the PC number 1? Did you email that to us?
That should be in the email where I sent all the docs. I'll check again. Do you have it open that had all the documents from Friday the 20th?
Yeah. I printed all it out. It doesn't have it.
It doesn't have it? Okay. So I will send that out now with the after this video uploads and we have the link, just because some people had class or practice. So I'll send that out and I'll include PC number 1. So thank you. So
okay, sweet.
So let's talk about how to skills check. And anybody can unmute. You guys can take notes on this, but I want you guys to tell me. So I'm going to sit down. Some of you guys have heard me talk about this, so I want you to engage. So Nemo, your guys' office, Ricky, you guys, we did this at my house, Cass. So you guys can unmute, but I want to go through and anybody can answer. So I say, corpus. If I'm going to sit down and I'm walking through someone's clothes, first off, you guys all write down, if you don't have it in your notes already, there's how many parts to the clothes? 3, all right? So for those who can't read everyone's fingers, 3 parts to the clothes, all right? Now, so you guys can unmute. So 3 parts to the clothes. What's the first part of the clothes?
Price comparison.
Price comparison, okay? So jot that down. That's the first thing, is price comparison. Roland, when you're sitting down with somebody and you're having them do that, and when they're doing that first part, what's the price comparison? What's that first part? It's everything when you start presenting the price to the end of page 8. Cool? When you say, hey, you're talking over $4,000 for a basic set. So that part on page 8 where you say, when it comes to high quality cutlery, like anything else, there's a wide range of quality and prices. CUTCO's top rated, so we only compare the highest quality stuff. And as you go through that, all of that is your comparison, okay? So when you guys are going through that first section, all right, what are you looking for when they're going through that part?
They're writing down prices.
Okay, so Tay is saying they're writing down prices. So by the way, in this part, so Tay, that's gonna be in part 2. All right, so there's 3 parts to the close, right? So first part is just the comparison part. Part 2 is presenting the price. And what Tay just said is super important, that they're writing down prices. Now, by the way, on part one, they're still writing down the 4,000. Are they writing 4,000 down? You want to make sure they write that. They don't need to write down Henkel's or Wusthof prices because those are printed on there, okay? So part one is the comparison. Part two is, I just mentioned, price presentation. And part three is what?
Ask for the order.
Ask for the order, okay? So let's go back to part one. So when you're looking at part one, the comparison, what are things when they're doing it for you that you wanna make sure they're doing, that they're saying? What are you looking for? Anyone?
The way that they're saying prices, like 4,000, like 12.
Right. So how they present the prices is important. So when they're quoting, so at first, right now, we're just talking about Wusthof. So how are they presenting it? Are they going, it's 3,000? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that so much for knives? There's several of you on this call right now who have done that to me. All right. John Bose is smiling. He's one of them. So people do that all the time. When I was new, I was like, yeah, that's so much, right? Ours is not that much. I just didn't realize. Guys, that first section, they just want to make sure they're letting Ms. Jones know why we're showing them big numbers. Cool? And we're justifying the big numbers because we want to make sure she's in the right frame of mind when it comes to prices, right? We want to make sure she's in the right place. So you want to make sure, are they saying, hey, when it comes to color, it's like anything else, there's a wide range. We want to make sure, write down a wide range, because that's what's helping Ms. Jones now go, okay, and you're like, and then right away you're saying CUTCO's top rated, so we only compare to the best stuff. So when you guys say that, what does she know? It's gonna cost money, right? So you're setting the stage. So are they setting that stage properly? Once they show it, are they building them up? So write that down. Are they building them up? Now, by the way, being brand new, as long as they're not knocking them down, they're good. And then you can give them a tip. Hey, build them up a little bit. Say, hey, this right here, if you go to Williams-Sonoma, you've got Schoon, Wusthof. These are top rated in stores. They're fantastic. This would be like your BMW, this is your top line, phenomenal stuff. Obviously, it's not cheap. All right. And these sets have different, they have different sets that range in price. So these brands have different sets that range in price. Kind of like BMW has 3 series, 5 series, 7 series, same deal. This is their 7 series fully loaded. So again, not cheap. They retail over 3,000. You can get them on sale for about $2,000. Now there are some differences between us and them. So you just want to make sure, are they setting the stage to Ms. Jones as to why they're going to show them the bigger numbers, right? Are they building up the competition and saying, hey, this is the best you're going to get in stores? Like if CUTCO didn't exist, here's what I'd recommend, all right? But it's the top stuff. So make sure that they're building them up, because again, the higher you build up what's out there, then you're telling Ms. Jones, hey, here's how we compare, we're better. So the higher you build them up, the higher you're building us up. So don't forget that, okay? And then guys, when they say $4,000, this is important. I used to say when I was newer, like, oh, don't worry, it's not that much. Or I'd say, or my eyes would be freaking out, like Tay said, how are they saying it, right? Are they like $4,000? Or are you like, hey, so at double the price, it'd be about $4,000. So it's like buying a nice fridge or like buying a nice set of tools. And they're like, oh yeah, because they know like you spend that on appliances, like coming up now when people are replacing stuff in their home, like when you buy nice stuff, you buy a nice fridge, nothing crazy, but like a nice fridge at Home Depot, it's $3,000 or $4,000, for your nice refrigerators. And I'm not talking Sub-Zeros. Sub-Zeros go from $6,000 to $8,000 on up to double those prices. So making sure you know what's out there. So when you buy a home, most things in your home, guys, cost thousands, not hundreds. So don't freak out, and make sure the rep that you're watching, that they're not freaking out when they say 4,000. Just say, hey, it's 4,000. Kind of like buying a really nice refrigerator or like a really nice set of tools, like Snap-ons or Craftsman. It would be comparable. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're right. So they make that connection. So that's step one. Again, are they setting the stage? Are they building up, what's out there? Hey, these are top. Obviously they're not cheap. They're the best. Hey, here's how we compare. And then when they say, hey, when you're talking double the price, double the, double the value, double the quality, obviously we're talking double the what? Yeah, double the price. And so you write that down, make sure they write that down. And they're looking at the customer right here, guys. They're looking at you going, hey, you're talking for it. So look at their nonverbals, all right? Are they like swallowing hard? Are they like awkward? Or are they like confidently saying stuff? And now we go into part two, and a lot of this is nonverbals, all right? So when they go into, hey, the great thing is that it's not $4,000, although it would be. And you want to make sure, how are they writing it down? So this is important. I want to look at their paper, and I want to see, the $4,000. And then I want to see them when they go through it with me to say, hey, it's not $4,000, although it would be if it was sold in stores. As a matter of fact, it's not even as much as these, which retail over $3,000. Hey, actually, our homemaker set is only $12.12. Cool? Or actually, what's the new price? I haven't seen the new prices yet.
$12.73.
What is it?
$12.73.
Oh my God. $12.73. Man, I was hoping it was much higher than that. I was like, $1,400. That's what I was going for. CUTCO should be so much more. I'm like, pay price increase is my favorite. I'm like, pay raise every 2 years. I'm like, new pay raise. Anyway, well, I get excited about it. So,
oh my God.
$12.73. Back to here. And then, guys, how are they? Some of you guys are laughing. Let's
He was so concentrated.
I'm muting you guys. All right. So once you guys do this, then you want to make sure, are they breaking it down and saying, hey, this is only, if they do the 5 pay, whatever it is, whatever the price is, but they're writing it down. And then they're breaking it down of what that would be weekly, whatever it comes out to, I'm just making these numbers up, but $35 a week, So when you're seeing middle, when you have middle, lower income guys, it is so important that they see what it breaks down to. You're like, hey, it's $271. Basically, you put aside, $70 per week, which would come out to about $35 each. Cool? So that's what it would break down to. So break down those numbers with them. I know I did this in Northwest Houston. We did this with Thomas and Jacob, and we were going through stuff when I was over there doing the interviews. I was like, just break it down, and right after, I think 2 of them one had over a 2K order, one had over a grand order. It's like when you break down numbers and show it on paper and people really can see, oh wait, I spend $35 a week all the time on Starbucks or cigarettes or whatever it is, break it down. And maybe it's not a homemaker, that's okay. But I want them to see that because if they work full time, they can afford it. It's not whether they can afford it or not. It's do they feel it's worth it? Is it priority? Maybe like, I don't want to do all that right now. Okay, no problem. Did you like CUTCO? If you want to get later, we're going to drop down and find whatever they're most excited about now. And then in the future, when they're ready, we'll upgrade them. Cool. We'll get them great deals. So we're super excited about that. So are you looking, how do they write it down? Cool. So part 2 on presenting prices, is it clear? All right, some of the people write messes, guys. There's numbers everywhere. Like if the person zooms out and comes back in, they need to be able to see, okay, I see what happened here, okay? Like, or they just see crossed out and maybe they just see this, but they're like, what is that? And they're like, oh, that's how much the deposit is. And those who have trained with me, most of you guys have been through my workshops. What do I do when I write this down? $100% refundable deposit, right? And I tell them it's for 20% of anything, and you have 3 weeks to try it out. So even if they zoom out, they know that this is 100% refundable deposit for 20%. They have 3 weeks to try it out. So again, they zoom out, they zoom back in, that's what they see. And they're like, okay, when you guys are doing virtuals, make sure they write it down. You're like, hey, Ms. Jones, go ahead and cross out 4,000. It's not that. Actually, it's not even as much as the ones you saw there that are over 3,000. Ours is actually $1,273. You could pay for it all now, but obviously you haven't had a chance to even like touch it yet, you haven't even seen it. So the company lets you have 3 weeks from when you get it to use it. Make sure you love it. And worst case scenario, you send it back. You get 100% of your money back. Cool? So you can write this down, 100% refundable deposit. You got that, Ms. Jones? Okay, cool. And it's $271. That's what the deposit would come out to. And again, 100% refundable. You can use it for a couple weeks. Make sure you love it. Worst case, send it back. You get 100% of your money back. You get a free CUTCO for 3 weeks. That's worst case. Best case, you're going to love it, which is what happens. This stuff is amazing. You can call and pay the whole thing off, or we have our Easy Pay. And the Easy Pay charges you the exact same amount every month, and it's interest-free. And they're like, oh, cool, So letting them know that. Like, yeah, and it's interest-free. So go through first call special. We have first call special, and it's a reason to buy now versus later. If you got that today, you can actually get something for free. So that's all part of the price presentation. And you can include whatever. It doesn't matter if you want to include the first call special. You're still presenting price, presenting option. And then how do they ask for the order? Do they actually ask for the order? Because some people never ask. They just like look, and you've got to ask them, hey, did you want to go ahead and get that today? Like you need to actually pose that question. And they go, I wasn't planning on buying, but dang, this stuff is really good. And they go into that hole and they're like, And then we help them find what's best for them. Are we doing that? Or are you guys just, are you asking them, or are you just staying quiet? And I have customers, I know some of you guys have heard, I remember one of my top reps who did not sell in the beginning because he didn't ask for the order. And I had one of his customers call my office saying, I want to buy a Galleria set. We go through, I sell her a galley, give her scissors, I'm at the team meeting. And when I was at the team meeting, I had asked them, hold on. Oh, I took it off over there. Just kidding. I was at the team meeting. I asked and said, oh, does anyone know, blank customer? And he was like, oh, that's my customer. And I'm like, well, no, it's my customer. But they called in and somebody had done a demo. And he's like, well, that's my order. I'm like, no, it's my order. I sold it to them. And he's like, are you kidding me? And I was like, Ryan, you need to ask people if they want to buy. He's like, you're really not going to give me that? I was like, no. I never gave him the order. I was like, I'll take you to dinner. But you need to learn to ask for the order. So you're going to learn the hard way. But ask people, hey, do you want to go ahead and try that out? Hey, did you want to put a deposit or did you want to pay in full? Hey, did you want the complete or the basic? However you ask, you need to ask. So make sure that you're watching when you're seeing the skills check. Are they asking with confidence? Cool. So that's what you want to look for. And then with the recommendations, again, do they have those 3 bullets down? Are they explaining the sponsorship? Do they have proof that you're seeing, that you're showing them? And you guys can watch the actual video where I go through how to skills check. That goes through in much more detail, but I just wanted to go through the basics to make sure you guys are being masterful in that, So skills check yourself, skills check each other. Be like, hey, close me. And I think that'd be something great to do, managers and in your local offices, is like match up and do a skills check for each other and write down what feedback you would give. Like, hey, this was really great eye contact here, great job building up here. Hey, I was a little confused here. Hey, you spoke a little bit fast. Hey, you didn't write this very clearly, and so help each other get better. That's really powerful. So don't be too cool to improve. Don't feel like, again, I know everything. What Spencer was talking about earlier, there's a reason we went over that. So we want you guys to always be students. By the way, Taylor, I'll tell you right now, one of the things I love most about her, and I've had the opportunity to work with her now for 3 summers, 2 summers really close, is she's a freaking student. Like, always asking questions, always wanting to get better. How can I get better with this? How can I get better with that? Like, I love that. That she wants to kick ass. And she's never been like, oh, I got it all down. It's like, okay, how can I get better? And that has been something that's driven her to succeed at the levels that she has, is because she's asking questions and wanting to get better. And I challenge you guys, there's always room for growth. There's always room for improvement. So are you going to be that person again who's like, oh, I got it? Or are you going to be looking to increase your knowledge and just keep getting better and better and better and getting into that next version, okay? So that is skills check. So you guys want to watch that. So write that on your to-dos. Those are assignments. That was this week's GCLA lesson. So maybe you haven't had GCLA yet. I know for us in the pilot, we didn't have it yet. We're going over some stuff tomorrow. But just make sure, if you don't have one, just watch the video I sent you on how to skills check. Make sure you have that down, okay? And then you want to watch also the how to be a recruiter video, because that goes through and it talks a little bit about the face-to-face, which there's a separate one for 12 minutes. But then it also goes through with PRs. So I want to walk through that real quick, PR, and I know that there's 2 you guys received, or actually in the email, Taylor, did it have just the Kathy's PR, or did it have also 2.0?
It had 2.0.
It has both of them?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So if you guys look at your documents, and I'll pull this up so you guys can see the 2 different things that I'm talking about. I know those that were at my house, we went through both of these, so you guys will see this like in the actual video. So the first one I think is really great when you're first getting started. Actually, I'm gonna put this here. And who's really comfortable with this? I'd like for someone to volunteer and do this out loud. Do the traditional approach. Can anyone volunteer to do this, or am I gonna call on someone? Any volunteers?
Hunter will do it.
All right, Hunter, let's do it. So this is a traditional approach. So everybody follow along. Go for it.
Is this Kathy?
Yeah, this is.
Hey, Kathy. My name is Hunter Bolenbach. I actually work with your friend Eric Anderson at his job. How's everything going?
Oh, doing awesome.
It's good to hear. Good to hear. Eric actually tells me that you might be looking for some part-time work this fall.
Yeah, maybe. What is it?
Well, Kathy, the reason why I'm speaking to you is we have some positions available, and we're conducting interviews this week to fill some of those.
Mm-hmm.
The manager asked Eric if he knew anybody that could be a good fit for us, and he mentioned you. So I wanted to ask you a couple questions, tell you a little bit about us, and if things sound good, set you up to meet with a manager so you can sit with them and learn all the details of the position. Does that sound good?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Are you at least 17 and graduated, Kathy?
Yeah, I'm 19.
Oh, awesome. And are you currently working?
Yeah, I work at a restaurant right now.
Oh, what restaurant?
It's called Bellagio.
Oh, what kind of food do they serve?
Italian.
Oh, cool. And are you currently taking any classes?
I am. I'm taking a pretty full load. I'm an accounting major currently, taking 18 credit hours, excuse me.
Oh, awesome. What school do you go to?
Small private school called Palm Beach Atlantic.
Oh, cool. Well, the reason why I asked is if you're selected, we have some really flexible schedules. The company awards scholarship for school, and we even have students earning college credits working with us. So not sure if Eric told you, but the name of the company is Vector, and it's a huge student program. We work with colleges nationwide.
By the way, I'm going to pause real quick. He sounds amazing. This part right here, do you guys see how I was like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. I'm totally into it. This part, Hunter, if I'm like that, I'm like, oh, that sounds great. You can just go right to, well, hey, you sound great over the phone, Kathy. What I'd like to do is invite you in for an interview. That part that's italicized with the description, guys, I'll tell you right now from experience, many times I don't even say it. Sometimes I do, and obviously anytime they ask, oh, well, what is it, or how does it work, then I'll go there. But many times when you've built good rapport and you talk about, oh, it's flexible, scholarships, college credit, they're like, oh my God, that's awesome. Then I just go, well, hey, Hunter, you sound great over the phone. What I'd like to do is just invite you in for an interview. That way we can get to know you better, see if you'd qualify to work with us. And also you can just check us out and make sure the job would be a good fit for you as well. So what's your schedule at Bellagio and at school? Like, what's your schedule today and tomorrow? Just to see if I can make something work. And they're like, oh, well, I work the restaurant tonight. I'm off tomorrow. I have class to go. And I'm like, all right, cool. Let me see. So today you're done at what time? All right, when do you start? All right, and tomorrow? Okay. Well, you know what? Good news. I actually have a slot open today at 4, which would be right when you get out of class, before you have to go into the evening shift at 7, that I could still squeeze you in for. Sounds like that'd be a good time based on both of our schedules, right? And like, oh yeah, perfect. I'm like, yeah, you can even come in your clothes for work. It'll only take about 45 minutes to an hour, meet with a manager, go through stuff, or depending on who's recruiting, you might say 60 to 90 minutes. But a lot of us now, 45 minutes to an hour. It's done. I'm like, do you have a pen and paper? So I give you information and you go from there. All right. And then you want to make sure you give information. You want to make sure it's 100% a time they can make, firm it up. Hunter, you sounded awesome going through there. But just so you know for future, and that'll save you a lot of time when you're calling PRs, you don't even have to do this part here. So this part right here, it's like, if they ask, you say it. If you don't feel a good connection, I would say it. But if they're like, oh yeah, okay, and they're totally into it, then you're golden. Cool?
For the record, I was pretty nervous PR calling my division manager. But
you did great. You really did a great job. So awesome. Now, is anybody comfortable going through 2.0? So 2.0 doesn't have it has verbiage in there, but this is, I know some of you guys just like chat with people, and I want to pull this up. But anyone who's done 2.0 and is confident going through it in front of everyone? Anybody? I can't hear you. Oh, great. I get to pick on someone. Is someone volunteering? Hey, Eric, did you want to do it?
Sure.
All right, cool. All right, so if you guys look, so 2.0 version, if you guys look at this, and I'd like to hear Nemo. I want to hear you go through it as well. All right, but this right here, basically it's the basics of the approach. What's the PR approach? The PR approach, it's who you are and why you're calling them. It's get to know them, all right? And then find a time that works. That's it, all right? And if they ask you what it is, again, you guys have the description in the other approach where you can go through, oh, it's a huge student program. We work with colleges nationwide. Company's been around since 81. Or you could just say the same thing you say in the face-to-face approach, all right? Be like, yeah, it's entry-level customer work, flexible schedules, $16 base. It's not based on sales, so you'd be working with customers, explaining products, answering questions, helping them place orders. Do you like working with people? Like, all right, great. And again, tons of cool perks if you're a student, so you can go through that. But this is really this is how I call a lot of our people, because I'm just building rapport, chatting with them, going through there. So this is, why, who you are, why you're calling, and then we go and get to know them. So Eric, go for it. And everybody should be following along to make sure you guys are getting comfortable with this. So go.
Hey, is this Kathy?
This is she.
Hey, Kathy, this is Eric. I'm not sure if we've had a chance to meet yet, but I work with Hunter over at his new job. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing awesome. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Thank you for asking. Well, the reason I'm calling is because I'm talking to Hunter the other day about some openings that I was still looking to fill. I asked him if she knew anyone that might be a good fit. Good attitude, worth ethic, possibility to get some more income.
And by the way, you don't have to say all that, just so you guys know I have that there, depending on like who I'm talking to or, you know, what I know about them. And if I don't know something, then sometimes I say all of them, but just so you guys know, so I'm just like, yeah, someone would be a good fit, whether they have a good attitude, good work ethic, or they were just looking for work, you know? And so she just told me to give you a call. Did she get to talk to you about it? So that's how you're going through there. So no, he didn't.
Okay, no worries. I know he's been working his tail off, and I'm not sure if he's been busy with whatever anything he scheduled.
Or yeah, if you guys know specifics about them. So usually the PRs that I'm calling, so let's say Nima, I'm calling, like I know your schedule, I know what's happening. If I'm calling to say this, like, oh, she might have been busy with with her baby or with school at the same time, you know, whatever. And so going through any specifics. So anytime you know specific things about them, like when I called one of our, I'm like, oh yeah, he may be busy with lacrosse practice, or going like, oh yeah, he's always crazy with lacrosse, but they know I know them. So anytime you know something personal, I throw that in there. Just by the way, you guys can apply this to your demos. When you guys are booking demos and Miss Jones, and you're talking to Miss Jones, and you're like, oh yeah, you know, is your husband in it? That's where I say their specific name. Or, oh, I don't know, did Julie tell you to be calling? Oh no, oh, she's probably crazy with the kids with soccer. You know, she had the fundraiser last week, and they're like, oh yeah, I know. But right there, there's that instant connection because you know something specific about them. Cool? So just so you guys know that. So go ahead, Eric, keep going.
So do you have a quick second so I can tell you a little bit about what I'm looking for?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. And by the way, did you know the Hunter from school, sports, church, whatever?
Yeah, so again, if you know, did you play lacrosse with him, or did you know him from, you know, A&M? Like anything, again, as specific as possible. So this is a more personal approach. So go ahead. Oh yeah, I know him from school. I met him at A&M.
Oh yeah, cool. You said you knew you from his accounting class. But did he tell you about how long you guys get to know them?
All right, so those are all different types of questions you can ask. So by the way, for anyone first starting, the other approach trying to run through is perfect. Just read through it. You're gonna set PRs and have them go through there, all right? So this is just like, oh yeah, I know they've been really busy. You know, oh, did you know each other from school, from work? All right, cool. Did you also go to A&M? And you're just like chatting. It's like transitioning to like about them. Do they play sports? Oh, what do you want to do long-term? So you're just chatting with them. The part that you want to make sure you nail, it's always like, oh, nice. That's probably one of the reasons she recommended you or he recommended you. So go ahead from there, Eric.
Yeah. All right. So you go to school with Hunter over to A&M?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. What are you studying?
I'm actually an accounting major.
Oh, really? What got you into that?
My dad's an accountant and numbers came pretty easy growing up. So figured it was good, safe.
So you probably got some brains up in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why I want to join you for the job. So what do you kind of want to do long term with that accounting degree?
I want to be a CPA, and I'm not sure if I want to work for a company or have my own firm, but I definitely want to get my CPA certification.
Awesome, great. Well, we have a pretty killer skills for life development program that focuses on some interpersonal skills, time management, organization skills, professionalism, and have management, entrepreneurship internships as well.
Nice.
Really big best entrepreneurship internship that students can do over the summer, where they actually get to run their own business, earn college credit, and even scholarships to help pay for school. I actually did that. I'm working with that.
Yeah, so that's where like be like, oh yeah, I'm actually in the program right now. Or if they knew someone, maybe you're calling one of Adrian's PRs, you know, and you're like, oh, actually Adrian did this past summer. He ran his own business down in Rosenberg to get the experience. He wants to have his own, and you know, ideally his own engineering practice at some point. You know, so just like throwing. So again, this is a very more personal approach. By the way, I would say 90% of you on here aren't going to use this yet. But if you want to and you're more comfortable, I know some people are wired where they're more comfortable with knowing, okay, I'm going to tell them who I am and why I'm calling. I'm going to get to know them. Make sure you bring up the benefits of the job, and then you transition. Well, hey, you sound great over the phone, but I'm definitely looking for people who are, like, I love athletes. I tell people, I'm like, I love competitive people who can work well in teams, who can work well independently. Obviously athletes are so good with that. And so I gave you guys a couple examples there. So yeah, I'm definitely looking for friendly people that can work well with others. Or, hey, I'm definitely looking for driven people who can work independently and also work in a team environment. Hey, I'm definitely looking for people who already have great experience working with customers. Whatever it is that they have from you getting to know them, be specific with that. So again, this is a more personal, advanced approach. And then find a time, go for it.
So what I'd love to do is set up a time where we can actually meet in person and discuss all the details of the position. That way you can see exactly how everything works, see if it sounds good fit for you, and I can see if it's a good fit for us too. How does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Awesome. What side of town will you be coming from?
I'll be coming from the Blinn area.
All right, awesome. Yeah, we're right next to Brian. Why don't you walk me through your schedules for today and tomorrow and see if I can find a time that might work both in our schedules.
Okay. And I always tell them, hey, we're looking to make some decisions by Wednesday, or by tomorrow. Like we're trying to make some decisions by tomorrow night. So I definitely want to meet as soon as possible. So just building urgency because I want to get them in as soon as possible. I know if I set them closer to when we spoke, I have a higher chance of them showing. So it's going to help me recruit them better. Cool? So that's it. And then you just get a time and make sure it's there. So nice job. I know that this isn't something that we've practiced, but I wanted to go through it. Nemo, do you prefer to do this one or the other one?
This one.
All right, go.
Hi, is this Kathy?
This is she.
Hi, Kathy. This is Erasmo. I'm not sure if we've had a chance to meet yet, but I work with your friend David at his new job. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing awesome.
Awesome. Well, the reason I'm calling is that I was talking to David earlier today about some openings I was still looking to fill, and I asked him if he knew anyone that might be a good fit, just someone that has a good work ethic, and he told me that I should give you a call. Did he get a chance to tell you at all about it?
No, I haven't talked to him yet. I know he's had some basketball practice and stuff.
Yeah, gotcha. No worries. I know he's been super busy with that. Do you have a quick second so I can tell you a little bit about what I'm looking for?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Also, by the way, David didn't actually tell me. Did you know him off of basketball or from U of H, or how do you guys know each other?
I met him at U of H.
Gotcha. Awesome. And what are you studying?
I'm an accounting major.
Oh, okay, cool. What got you into that?
My dad, he's a CPA, so.
Okay, that's awesome. What are your plans on doing long-term with that?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm just good with numbers, but I also really love people. My dad's always like, you need to go work with people. So okay. I have no idea, but I'm definitely studying accounting right now.
Gotcha. Well, working with people, that's probably one of the reasons that David recommended you. We actually have a pretty killer skills for life development program that focuses on interpersonal skills, time management, organizational skills, professionalism, and we even have some management and entrepreneurship internships. We actually have the best entrepreneurship internship that students can do over the summer, where they actually get to run their own business, earn college credits, and even scholarships to help pay for school.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. David and I are actually working on doing that for the summer of 2018. Are you also into basketball or any other sports at U of H? Or?
I just like watching. I go root on. I played basketball growing up, but I'm definitely not playing collegiately right now.
Gotcha. And are you working anywhere currently?
I work at a restaurant hostessing.
Oh, really? That's awesome. How long have you been doing that?
2 years.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, you sound great over the phone, and really what I'm looking for. So I'm just looking for friendly people that can work well with others. So what I'd love to do is set you up for a time where we can actually meet in person and discuss all the details of the position. That way you can see exactly how everything works, and we can see if it's a good fit on both ends. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
Awesome. Our office is in the Galleria area. What side of town would you be coming from?
I'll be coming from UH, so I guess a little east.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, why don't you walk me through your schedule for today and tomorrow to see if I can.
I'm going to cut you off. Great job, by the way. You sound awesome, Nemo. So you did a really great job on that. So this is something that I'm going to have your managers, everyone in local, and those who are away, you need to schedule a 10, 15-minute call with your manager so you guys can go through the PR approach. Great thing with the PR approach is you don't have to memorize it. You just want to get comfortable with it. You can always have it in front of you. You want to always have it in front of you when you're talking to make sure you don't miss anything, so you guys have that. So right now, things to focus on as we leave from here. So 1, PR approach, whichever one, whatever you're comfortable with. Cool. I recommend, being brand new, to start with the traditional approach and just get really comfortable with that, you know? If you're comfortable with the other, with the 2.0, that's fine. PRs is a different beast. It's just about connecting with them. Their friend recommended them, you're finding out a little bit about them, you're sharing some of the perks. Hey dude, I'd love to meet and go over details. And that's it, you know, like that's what you're doing. And if they ask what the job is, you go into more detail. So do you guys know how to rock PRs? Because when you guys are running your interviews, at the end of the interview, you guys should be collecting names from your PRs. I know, is Victoria there right now? I don't see her in the video. Victoria, can you share what you implemented from CFC with everyone?
Oh yeah, okay, so this week I had an interview with like 13 people. It's probably the biggest one I've ever ran. And I don't remember who said it, but I remembered writing it down, and it was like, when you're with a large crowd, just say like, hey, I normally give like 2 of these sheets for, it's the PR paper like that you give while they're watching the video. And then afterwards you tell them like, hey, I normally give like 2 of these, but just for time's sake, since there is a lot of y'all, just go ahead and fill out 1 sheet. And hold on. Oh yeah, and if there's enough time afterwards, I can give y'all another one if y'all have more to write down. Because I mean, who doesn't know there are 15 people, right? And I just laughed, and they laughed, and some people tried to give me like objections, and I was like, you know, 15 people, like just write them down. You got this. I was like, use your phone, it'll be cool. And sure enough, I got like 11 to 15 with each of them. So it was probably my best time I've ever gotten, like a lot of PRs like that. So
yeah. Awesome. And by the way, that's incorporating something you guys are learning. So awesome job, like hearing that and incorporating it, and saw that success right off the bat. And I think about for you guys when you're running your office, like right now, this is your office. So some of you guys, I know there's about 20 people who are not in an actual office right now. You guys are away. Actually, 5 of those 20 have offices away. Like Haley's over at the Alabama office right now and is getting incorporated there. And so some of you guys are going to be working in other offices. But you want to act as if. You want to be in there like, this is my office. So I want to give you guys some focuses as we leave here to make sure that we're really maximizing what's happening, okay? So we started off the day, I had put here the 5, you know, the daily big 5. And so the daily big 5, if you can shoot out, what's number 1? What are we looking for first?
Wait, are we supposed to yell it out?
Active touches, yeah. Active touches. What is active touches?
What? PR set plus campus.
Yeah, how many PR set plus campus? Here's what you guys all need to have. If you are working in the office on any given day, how many PRs must that day, no matter what? How many?
5.
All right. You guys are working, and by the way, even though you guys who are away and you want to get involved with your office, you can still set 5 for the week. Get in the rhythm of setting 5. I know, Victoria, you got a lot of PRs in that interview. You guys want to make it a point that your interview is not just the interview. The interview finishes when you finish contacting the PRs. So as soon as your interview's over, you guys should be contacting all the PRs from the sheet. Whether you call, maybe you call your top 20% and you text the rest. But it's a quick text that says, hey, your friend John Bose was actually just here for an interview. He had selected, you know, he had recommended you for a position with us. You know, let me know if you want to discuss some more details or whatever. I have a version of this that you guys might have gotten in the documents I sent you. And if not, then I will send it. I have it in our interview documents. Let me see here. GCK, interview material. So,
we're unmuted.
You guys are all talking. That's what's happening right now, which is fine. So you guys want to look at, I sent you all the stuff for the interview. So the next couple weeks, it's getting the interview. The interview is super simple. You just need to be confident, guys. Act as if they're applying for a job. You have one. Cool? Don't forget that. So one of the best pieces of advice when I was learning to run interviews, my manager's like, you know you have a job and they want one. So own that, you know? If someone starts asking a bunch of questions, you're like, oh, did you get a chance to actually go through our Vector Marketing website and read through everything? And if they say, like, okay, well, I'll go through the details here in a moment. But it just kind of shows someone, it's like, you didn't even do your homework, you know? But making sure that you own it. So before the interview starts, like, do you get in the zone and making sure you're like, all right, I'm a badass. I'm going to go recruit all these people and just get focused. Your objective when you go into the interview, guys, is to connect. Some of you need to smile a little bit more. Some of you who are super smiley need to be a little bit more, you need to be a little bit more serious, okay? Not super smiley all the time. Jacob is gonna post the text into the group so you guys have a text to shoot out to acceptance criteria. But interview finishes, boom, you're contacting your PRs, all right? It's an easy way to always get your 5 super quick, all right? Maybe you have an interview back to back, another one coming up. Well, guys, while the video's going on for those 22 minutes, you can be calling PRs from your interview prior and make sure you finish texting them or following up with them to get those set up, all right? So when we look at weekly reports, every week, Lorena's gonna help me pull up reports, and we're gonna look at everybody and how many PRs did you schedule for that week. And we're gonna base everything, contests, accountability, stuff for branch, based on your Vector Live. There are some of you on here that are like, oh my God, what is that? You need a Vector Live account. So make a note, please, Vector Live account. Talk to your manager and make sure they set it up this week so you guys can watch the videos. That way you can put the PRs under your account. If you're like, oh, I put them under Cody, I can't track your progress. And so I can't grade you properly, and I can't see, where you're at towards your training if you don't have your own account, okay? So you've got to make sure, so number 1, Vector Live account, is that set up? Number 2, I already mentioned before, is get your 5 PR set for any day you're in. So if you're working 2 days in the office a week, at a minimum, you should have 10 PR scheduled for that week. So find out with your manager, and I'm gonna get from them, what are we holding you accountable? Is it 10 minimum for the week? Is it 15? Is it 20? Is it 5? Depending on how many days you're in, make that a focus point, is making sure. So from the interview criteria sheets, and then obviously when we have training, we run training, those are additional PRs that you guys are gonna get, okay? So I wanna make sure that you guys are rocking with that. So we're making sure to help you guys be amazing. So if you know how to go create touches on campus, you know how to, when people come in for an interview, you go through the end of the interview. A big thing you guys want to talk that over the next couple weeks you're going to be going over, and your managers are going to go over with you, is to create your own perk section. So you guys are going to get the fall perks. So at the end of the video, once you finish the video, you go through, and I know we're going to run a couple minutes over. I'm almost done, I promise. But when you guys go through here, you're going to go through the perks of the job, right? And so you're like, hey, so those are the details of the position. Before I meet with you one-on-one, I want to share a few perks of the job that we have specifically here in College Station to make sure everyone's a good fit on both ends. And I believe our position offers 5 incredible perks. First thing I'd say is our support system. And this is, and they go through 2-day training, they call in to clock in, clock out. Second is the sample program. So our facts, and going through samples. Third is the pay, no ceiling. Fourth is the experience. And we talk about the internships and build that up. And the best perk is the team. But on this part where you say, hey, the experience is unparalleled, I wouldn't be where I am today if someone hadn't taken a chance on me, and you can share, be like, starting off, I didn't have much experience, I didn't have this, but you can share what the opportunity has done for you. So you guys are gonna write out yours, and you're gonna write out your team. And so right now, this is a project, managers that Jordan, Jacob, Cody, you guys can sit down with your manager, and you guys need to actually go through and say, okay, what do we want to promote to everybody, right? When we go through this, what do we want to talk about? What is our office going after? And so here we say, hey, the best perk is the team. With all the experience I've gained from Vector, I definitely would not be in a position where it was this. And then just talking about what you're going after, breaking the all-time best record in corpus history, breaking the all-time best fall record in CSTAT, being the #1 college, recruiter in the nation, being the top college student program in the nation, whatever it is, but just talking about that and reworking this perk section. And this is from some of my top people we've used for over a decade, versions of this. But it's like, hey, my team is excited to be a part of something new. They're excited about overcoming obstacles, setting new standards. And I think that excitement has really propelled them to succeed both on an office level and an individual level. Currently we're in the off season, or you can talk about, we're going into our fall, our biggest momentum campaign to build 2018. We're looking at a blank amount of people. So you guys need to sit down with your managers and walk through this part, because you all want to be speaking the same language in terms of what's happening with the office, where the organization's going, because that way when they come to training, they're going to hear all the same things. We want them to hear the same things that are in the perk section. We want them to hear the same thing in the interview. Cool? So leaving here, you guys want to make sure your Vector Live account is set up. You want to make sure you get to me or get with your manager to find out what's your minimum per week of PRs. Everybody should be 5 minimum, but some of you guys it's 10, some it's 15, some it's 20. And I take it as high as you can, but at a minimum every week, are you getting 5 set up? They can be from interview criterias. They can be from, the training, the collection that you guys have from training. So make sure that you guys get that down. And then I want to make sure you guys watch the how to skills check video. So jot that down, make sure that that's getting done here these next 2 weeks so you're comfortable. That was this past week's assignment, was to watch the how to skills check, and then also how to second man. So look at those videos because those are things that I sent you guys, but this goes into your own study, right? We meet once a month. Our next meeting is October 10th. You guys meet once a week for class, but it's the best athletes, it's the best performers, it's the best theater people, it's the best at anything that don't just practice during practice, but they go and practice on their own. And I'm not saying you need to put in 3 hours a day, but can you put in 2 or 3 hours a week of your own time, 30 minutes a day, whatever it is, to listen to an audio, to listen to something, to listen to one of the links I gave you, and just making sure you're honing your craft and getting freaking great at it. I want GCK to be known as the premier division, all right, that has the most badass group of people that have their fundamentals down. We know how to develop hardcore sales champions. And if you know how to do that, you know how to get people in, you know how to make them be great, that's how you build layers and build a kick-ass organization. And if you guys treat this fall like it's your first office, some of you, it's going to be when you come home for Christmas, that you'll work a couple weeks and you treat it like it's your own and you learn how to build that and you put it all together. The confidence you're going to have into next summer is just freaking huge. And I want to open up real quick to any of the DMs or second time branches that are on here of anything that you could say as we go into this fall, as we go into our 2017-2018 Leadership Academy, any things that you any comments or things that you'd say as a word of advice from you, Philippe, having gone through it before, or, Jacob, Jordan, any of the managers that want to share something. So anyone who's been through Leadership Academy prior, any tips or keys you'd say as we leave this meeting for them?
Could y'all hear me or no?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, Philippe here. Philippe Hans around the second. Y'all know me. This is my 4th GCLA. 4th go round, I think. Y'all, the most important part is PRs. The script, it may seem like repetitive, but like going through it all these years, the people that aren't successful are the ones that don't implement the scripts. Plain and simple. Like it's really as straight up as it seems. Like just what helped me my second summer over my first was just straight up just doing more PRs. A way I could have done better is if I would have just done more PRs and pay more attention to the script from the beginning and not starting like in mid-June. And that's why the Woodlands did as great as they did. I mean, they had PRs like that. So I mean, like,
We can barely hear you, but you're saying PRs.
PR. Well, okay, sorry. I it's because I cussed and I didn't know if I could cuss. I said the Woodlands office did so well because they had PRs out the wazoo. But regardless, if you didn't get anything out of today, y'all, the on-campus thing is key. It's really just knowing, hey, the job is basic customer sales and service, minimum customers, explaining products, helping them place orders. Do you like working with people, following up with a question? And if they say yes, setting them up. And then the PRs is huge.
By the way, what he just said, I didn't say it, I did it earlier, but so you all know, you always want to re-ask a question to gain control of the conversation. Anytime they ask, what is it, where is it? Whoever asks control, by the way, just so you know, in general, whoever asks a question has control of the conversation. So whenever you're answering, you're like, oh, it's a great question, or whatever you answer, you always end your answer with a question to regain control of the conversation. That's an advanced tip, just so you guys know. But like he just did that, and he's like, oh, do you like it? Like we do that for a reason, because that puts the ball back in your side of the court. Cool?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so those are the main things.
Awesome. Any other tips or keys from those who have been through before, or reinforcements on this today?
There's only newbies here other than me.
I'll go. I love the concept of really treating your office as your office. Like if you're an assistant, it doesn't matter what your title is. If you're an AMIT assistant manager, ex-branch manager, treat the office you're in as your office. That was the biggest key that clicked after I branched. I treated my managers, Preston Tesvich and Eric Ward's offices, as my own. And I built AM teams that are CSPs today, thanks to the leadership of other DMs. But, like that, treat your office as yours, not your DMs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that, by the way, the DMs and I were talking about that earlier. That was so huge when I did that. Like, you're not paying the bills right now. Learn, mess up, get great on their dime. All right, ask questions, repeat things so you can get really good and feel really confident executing. Makes a world of a difference in your results. And for you guys, even like starting to PR people, get your friends in, get them trained, have people trained during Jan program. You guys, the quicker you develop some of your friends, you get to go out and run an office. Like we will have people that go with you, like your friends and people that you built that will connect with you and make sure that your team is hooked up so you're ready to roll. All right, so you want to get people in during Jan program in the spring. You want to get the people that you're like, oh, I want these people as assistant managers for me next summer. You want to get them in earlier so that they can learn, they can get around us, they have more belief in the job, they get better at the job. And when summer hits, boom, it's game time. Like Gordon went out, was one of the top in the nation. And the reason is he had people that had worked there before, people that he got in, people that trained early, Mason who started during the school year, and they went out there and just absolutely crushed it and kept getting PRs, through the summer, getting really good at that. It makes a really big impact. All right. So I know we ran over, but I do want to say again, I'm so excited for this Leadership Academy. I'd like for you guys, if you can email me, you guys have my email, I emailed you all. What are your biggest 3 takeaways and what are you most excited about for GCLA? So if you can send me that, I do want to say to Austin Baker, I know that he had a football meeting and then he was jumping on, but I want to congratulate him. I know I put it in the group, but Austin was the first one to get his letter of intent in. So 2 things for those who want to get on the fast track to earning a branch spot. Number 1 is your letter of intent. I attached that with the email with the documents, but a letter of intent is literally you saying, hey, this letter is to show that I fully intend on going out and earning a branch spot for next summer. I'll do whatever I need to do, whatever you want to say, your experience. It gives you some guidelines. At the end of the day, don't overanalyze. It can literally be like, I'm in, put me in, coach, wherever you need me, I'll go. I'm gonna work my butt off so that I'm ready to rock next summer. And it could be that simple. So letter of intent in ASAP and then putting more money away. Cool? Keep putting more money away. And every month, guys, every time we meet, when we meet on the 10th, anyone who wants to come to my house, we're going to do it at my house on the next meeting on the 10th. So those who are local or those who want to drive over, and then those who are further, you guys want to be together at the office so we can do stuff together. But I will be home on October 10th, and I'm super excited for that prep. That'll be right after SLC that the managers come back from. And we're just super stoked to grow you guys. I've never had the group that we have, you guys are incredible. The talent that we have in this division is unfreaking real. And it's time to show the nation what's up and what we're capable of, and I'm so excited for the stories that are going to come from us going through this, us going through the storm and still destroying the whole nation when it came to the fall campaign, because we had people who were growing, we had people who were excited to give back, people who were excited to improve and to stand out and have the best opportunities for next summer. So put more money away, be aggressive, get your letter of intent in, and make sure we're getting your basics down so you guys are feeling really good before I quiz you guys next month. Cool? Let's do it.